Ooh, hello there, everyone. We try to set myself up here. Apologies for the stuff going on in the background, all this shit. It's been fucking crazy the last couple of days. Very. Alright. There we go. Hello there, and welcome back to the show. It's got some insane shit to talk about tonight. We'll have many guests and many people. I'm your weird Spurg internet Spurg detective / radio man as Warfucks, whatever you call that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. We got some interesting stuff to talk about. As it turns out recently, a lot of events have been transpiring that I haven't been able to talk about just yet. We have a spurg war between two communities online over internet jokes, which resulted in a website known as Kiwi Farms being taken down by an individual named Keffels. Now, I don't know if the word Keffels means anything to you. To me, it just sounds like some off-brand generic cereal. But apparently that off-brand generic cereal got so angry that they decided to go to war against the endangered species of creatures known as the Kiwis and their little farm. Because of this, a lot of information on online degenerates like Chord Kitty and others have been buried under into the deep, dark depths of the dark web. So that's what I'm here to do tonight. I'm here to help out a little bit by having conversations about our favorite internet lolcows and their archives for your entertainment. So if you happen to be just as distraught as I was about the loss of valuable information due to, well, the spurgatory of an off-brand cereal, then feel free to send some archived information to me at all times and any time of the week. And chances are I'll make a stream or video about the subject just for you guys. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Our segue in this regard is Chord Kitty. That's on the docket currently. See, what we're going to talk about is not only the old lore of Chord Kitty, some of the stuff that the channel's never talked about, or maybe you perhaps never heard if you're not an aficionado of Chord Kitty's lore. And we're going to go through all that, including the old stuff, from old to new content. It's going to be fucking crazy. In fact, if you like to read into stuff, there is a Telegram chat, 3 of them specifically, separated into 3 parts, about Chord Kitty's lore, and we're going to go through them tonight, so that you guys can enjoy the insanity like I do. If you happen to have super chats, just just remember, if I don't instantly respond to super chats, that it's not on us ignoring you. It's going to be us having to spend the time going through each part in total. And we're going to go through all of it one by one and have small breaks in between each part. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Alright, so let's check around real quick. Hello, everyone. We got Iris. Well, before we start, we got Iris, we got Dencaver, we got Docta Fill, Yoda, Pete, Mr. Gamer. A lot of you guys today. Cowboyferret. Hello there, Cowboyferret. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go into it. Excuse me, I'm just setting things up over here. I'm using Telegram this time, so it's a little bit wonky for me personally. Let's read out the first part out loud for all of you guys to know about real quick. And as well as, you know, all this other stuff, right? Also, for those involved, like Cowboyferret and BiggusDickus, feel free to join the waiting room. We'll get you right in the show. Let me see. Let me find some extra snazzy jazz for you guys, too. Apologies. This seems fitting for spooky seasons. Absolutely. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through all kinds of lore. This will be Chord Kitty's. We'll talk about other people's in a different stream, too. Alright, ready to go. I'm telling people involved to feel free to join in. Feel free to join in. From Yoda, send super chats to Kaz Warfox to allow him to keep the AD appointment on his body wall. Absolutely. Alright. So we got BiggusDickus on the show. Welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Oh, good. Discord's hopefully not going to have a stroke right now. Oh god. So like, are you actually gonna read like the entire Telegram group chats? Because there's no way you're gonna be able to cover it in one stream. We'd be here all night.
I would kind of say so. We're just gonna go do it in parts. I mean, for let's see how many stuff. Yeah, I would say for the most part, yeah, we'll go through like most of it.
Oh my god. I would just be brief with it, because I mean, like the stuff that really matters most as far as like part one, I mean, yeah, like all the stuff with, his development is good to establish his character and shit, but I mean, the whole slumlord era, like, holy fuck, I didn't realize how bad it was.
Yeah, it's no problem. We'll definitely go through with it and whatnot. And if it's too much, we'll skip it. That's no problem. Let's see.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Where the hell is Rodeo?
I hear echo.
On my end?
Think so? Yeah. Where's Radio? Oh, there they are. There's waiting room. Here.
Let's see. Did that make it any better? Because it might just be a couple of other issues.
Hello? Looks fine.
Okay.
Sounds fine. So let me read out some of the beginnings for this. I'm not going to be able to like screen share all of it all the time. For a little bit of safety involved, because there is some NSFW in these chats, and not necessarily intending to show it off, but it's kind of a archive for archival purposes and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Won't be able to show every single thing immediately. There's going to be a lot of reading. But if you want to read this all to yourself, the links in the description is already down below. It's all there. Each part, we'll go through each part piece by piece and take breaks and then go to the next part. It's going to be a bit, but that's kind of what this channel is about. We like long-form content here.
Good lord.
Hello there, Cowboy Ferret, otherwise known as Rodeo. Welcome to the show.
I see they're muted.
Check if you're self-muted. I think they are. I love listening about spig weirdos while I draw. I assume you mean the word spurg. But yeah, that seems to work just as fine. Alright, so...
Yeah, I think either word works in this instance. Hi, Rodeo.
Hello, Rodeo. There? Get one of the... Why can't I drag? There we go. Score is acting really weird today.
Yeah, it's been acting funky on my end too.
Oh god, I can't hear you guys at all. Try coming back in. Sorry for any technical difficulties. It's Can
you hear me?
I can hear you, Peetza. Oh, there's a bunch of new people coming into the welcome room. Feel free to direct them to the, the approval. Apologies for technical difficulties, everyone.
You're fine.
Sorry about that. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself, Ferret.
Hello, my name is Cowboyferret. I have a YouTube channel, and currently I am working on a video on Khord right now. And his recent little escapades.
Oh, absolutely. Feel free to describe us a little bit about his escapades. Excuse me. You get what I mean.
Recently, the part I've been kind of focusing on, and BiggusDickus can tell you all about that, the thing I've been currently focusing on with him is his whole grooming case with the 17-year-old. And so tonight you guys are going to be seeing some very Very interesting development with his case about that.
Oh yeah, feel free to read out the beginning section of part 1. We'll go through a decent amount of part 1, but we're not going to go like through all of it because like as stated before, we're also going to be talking about some of the newer stuff that's also been developing. So we have room for that. For
Okay.
people who may want to return to the stream or just saw the stream after as it turned to VOD, there will be chapters for each part. And if there's anything else like, special incidences taking place, those will also be put in a chapter for you guys to just, skip. So keep that in mind. Did you hear Ethan Ralph is living in Mexico? I have no idea about that. Look into that later. Anyway, so we are at part 1. The first part 1 thing is called Chord Kitty, A House of Horrors. Kind of apt. Author's note, there will be NSFW continued throughout these adaptations. So far, warning ahead. The warnings including suicide, homicide, threats of violence, racism, anti-Semitism, zoophilia, pedophilia, Nazism, transphobia, graphic sexual content, assault, child abuse / neglect, and domestic violence. Got by a lot of crimes that Chord Kitty's racked up already. This may not all be presented in a specific part, but all 3 will inevitably show up due to the constant looming threat of Kiwi Farms, the site which hosts Chord Kitty's thread being removed from the internet. I will be rewriting this entry of the thread's main content, i.e. the main post containing supplemental pieces in order to preserve the information gathered. I understand everyone has a strong warranted opinions about the site. However, the users of the forum have done the most work archiving, preserving, and investigating evidence against Khord. It also cannot be written off as a source due to substantial amounts of evidence against Chord Kitty being posted by Khord himself. Of the 180 pages of his thread, he contributed about 70% of it. As the overwhelming accusations against him are not just well-founded, but also inadvertently exposed a myriad of other predators within the furry community, who pose a significant risk to minors, animals, AFABs, and trans folk. As such, it may pain readers observe remnants of the site where there is unfortunately no objection to the validity of material at hand. Everything posted will have a source detailing its origins. If there are any questions for a citation, please leave a comment in a discussion channel for free to reach out on the admins of the chat privately. We'll happily answer your questions and comments. With that in mind, allow me the opportunity to restructure the intel into a more linear, focused narrative, which is something I've been wanting to do for some time. I've also wanted to cut down on the amounts of sarcastic snuffs. Tony, if you were here for quips, you'll be disappointed. I also warned that there are a significant amount of overlapping events, info, and will be repeated from time to time, or certain topics which more informed readers will be expected may be left out until later sections. Rest assured, we'll get there, and we'll get there when we get there. Lastly, since certain details can't be entirely organized in a chronological order in any meaningful way, there will be points where I'll be able to return to more specific topic-specific style of writing. My apologies, it will be jarring. Without any further ado, let's begin. Yeah, there we go. So the caveat for this is that this will be a linear attempt to look into this, and that's what we're going to do. Again, we're not going to go through every particular piece. We will be able to talk about the beginnings of Khord a little bit, and then we'll talk about some of the more recent events, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So,
since I wrote most of this stuff, do you want me to just give you like the brief synopsis for some of the longer parts so we can kind of like steamroll this? No offense.
Sure, go ahead.
So, the part that's after that long ass disclaimer, which, yeah, I stand by that, by the way, basically just goes into his childhood and basically running through it from his perspective, because he wrote about it through like several journals on 2 of his FA accounts. basically the way that I see it is that, him being diagnosed with autism at an early age, obviously it's going to affect your development for a long time. His father seems to be absent for a lot of his childhood, which left his mother to be the primary caretaker. And he described her as being overbearing to a point where he didn't learn like critical life skills. So he didn't know how to do his own laundry. He didn't know how to wash his own face. Didn't exactly learn proper dieting or how to handle stress or how to handle bullying and just random shit like that. Because anytime he got upset, he'd go to her and she'd just be like, "You're perfect, just the way you are." And something that he permeates through his adult life now. His father was absent because like the marriage between Gabe's father and the mother, for some reason or another, like just wasn't working out. But because of societal expectations, they stuck together. Because they're like high-profile doctors, from what I remember. Anytime that Gabe's father was present in his life, he was more or less like aloof with Gabe and wasn't very interested in actually child rearing. And a lot of the advice that Gabe's father would give. Hold on a second. I just gotta knock on the door.
No problem. So let's recap some of that real quick. He was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3 due to special education programs being limited in the area. He had to change schools frequently from kindergarten to the third grade. He felt the need to constantly compete for his parents' attention, mostly his father's attention, due to his sister exceeding expectations. A lot of bullying experience during elementary. When he was 16, Gabe's mother and father discovered him drawing porn of Calvins and the Hobbs as well as Bambi. Oh God.
I joined right back at the perfect time.
In either his junior or senior year of high school, he attempted to audition for the state honor choir, but didn't make it. This resulted in him going through a major depressive period. His parents forced him to go to therapy, but he didn't appear to be at all that receptive towards it. Gabe grew a dependency for alcohol sometimes in his early 20s, claiming that he could only successfully socialize if he was drunk. He didn't get his first job until he was nearly 25. Okay, Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of things are starting to make sense now, aren't they?
Yeah. Jesus. And so like there's screenshots showing the actual archives of these forums. I take it it's like a Furfinity or something.
Yeah, those are his Furfinity profiles.
Go to a fucking shrink, a real one. Okay, let's see if I can put this on the chat for people, because I think this is funny. We'll look into this one. Give me a sec. All right. Post link. See if this shit works. Seconds. Okay. Give me a sec. I'm trying. Okay. Telegram. What are you doing? Can't be doing this to me, Telegram. Doing this to me. Oh, where? Apologies.
You're fine.
You're okay.
Alright. Here we go. See, this is on chat. Who doesn't like funny? I know, right? So this was posted on Kiwi Farms, October 3rd, 2020, by Gabe himself, believe it or not. By the way, yes, Chord Kitty did in fact make a Kiwi Farms thread. He made an account on Kiwi Farms and decided to talk about himself. I don't know why he thought that was a smart idea, but he did. And this is some of the points about himself. So he's responds to some people. Says, "I'm drunk before. I hate it. I did just to try and fit in for the moment. I've been hanging with the parents and family of drinking wine. My old roommate offered me some stuff, and it's hard for me to drink it, so I put some of the flavor packs in it, and suddenly it tasted pretty good. But nah, I've
Oh God, I forgot about that because that was when he started talking about putting like those crystal water packets that you're supposed to put in like regular water into it. And I remember talking about it with the guy who wrote Dragoneer's thread, and I sent it to him, and like right when I sent it to him, he's just like, I just saw that. He did not just say what I think he said. So he just started ripping on it like in DMs with each other. Because we're just like astounded. And I'm just sitting there like thinking like, why doesn't he just drink fucking wine coolers or Mike's Hard Lemonade? Like, if you don't like the taste, just fucking drink some fruity ass shit. It's not hard.
Put some flavor packs. I have never, nor will I ever buy alcohol if someone has it for free and offers. I guess I will basically drink if anyone else is in the room doing it. Okay, cool. As someone says, as a homoerotic cougar says, go to a fucking shrink, a real one. And this is Khord's response. By the way, really, really fucking smart idea to make a fucking account to respond to your own thread. Totally ends well. No, that's totally a fantastic idea. Anyway, he responds with, I did once way in 2003. I think it was kind of boring. I didn't remember much of it, but around that time, I was really depressed because I was the only kid in my class who didn't make it into the honor choir. Whatever. We literally were the #1 school in California. Of course, he is in California. When it comes down to the amount of people who made it into the all-state honor, I wanted to drop my voice teacher after that, and I was mega depressed. But the silver lining is I got the chance to perform the music in Music Man, and I played Spacey Squires, whatever. That was a great time. 2004. I'm horrible at this type of names anyway. But what I got from this is that he didn't get accepted into something. It kind of broke his itty bitty heart. And he was pretty resentful towards both the shrink and his music teacher, I assume.
It wasn't just that, because like if you remember from reading into it earlier, one of his brothers and his sister were both like excellent music performers. They were gifted in the arts, and all that shit came to them naturally. So he's expecting to be the same thing, and then it doesn't come naturally for him because he sucks. So it's literally a wound to his ego. I don't think it was so much that he didn't make it into honor choir, because he failed his own expectations. He failed by comparing himself to other people, which, is its own kind of pain.
I guess so. So he's mad because he couldn't get the one thing that his family seems to connect on a lot. And he blames his family for what I assume is probably his own interpretation or what he believes that the expectations were at. But I kind of get this vibe he was probably a bit lazy about it.
Oh, without a doubt. By the way, you're gonna hear somebody chuckling in the background, and that's because I have my darling dearest in the background. He's kind of just chilling here, but
no problem.
Yeah, he's listening live 30 seconds behind.
Introduction to the furry fandom. According to Gabe, his introduction to fandom was sometime in 2001, predating most social media platforms as well as the most prominent modern web form for the furry fandom to date Furfinity by several years. Let me see. Also, if you guys are struggling to read, I do apologize for that, but there's only so much I can try to zoom in. I will try to fix that a little, but yeah, there's no guarantee. I started This is one of Chord Kitty's Twitter replies from February 24th, 2022. I started browsing furry chats 21 years ago. People really didn't give me drama until a motivated group of pathological liars started spewing their acid publicly starting about 3 years ago. Well, what is he referring to exactly, if you know? What type of group?
So as far as what he was referring to, I kind of get into that in the next message. It's probably mud muck rooms.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Also, who joined? Hey, hello, Aaron.
Hola. I see we are looking at Chord Kitty. We're looking at it on the Kiwis.
Yeah. Well, we're working from a Telegram chat stuff. that's kind of like an archive for the Kiwis shit. Yeah, well, temporary, I guess. In the earlier years of the internet, furries congregated in IRC rooms. Jesus Christ, that's old. Or mud such muck rooms. Given the case, it's likely that the information to verify much claims would be lost to time, as documenting chats in the early stages of the internet was not a common practice. This is also something that's just a little bit before my time, so I don't have much knowledge of these types of things. That in mind, earliest publicly known records of Gabe's interactions with the furry fandom started in May 11, 2007. He joined then the fledgling web forum Furaffinity under the username This Is Gabe. Yep, that's one of his old accounts, and is that fucking pedo bear as his icon, but his cat shit?
Yo, can you share the screen? I want to see the shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to it. I don't think that was the intention, but if it was, that's aged, it's aged like a fine wine.
Oh, yeah.
I think it fits it pretty well, considering everything we're about to be getting into.
Yep. See if that works. Apologies for, some of the people. Probably need to get that to follow along. Anyway, before we continue, feel free to like, subscribe, and share on the content. It really helps out. Just a little aside. It's up to you. Initially... let's see. I should actually working as intended. It should be. Initially, he wasn't publicly active on the account until about a year and a half later. The uptick in activity would be a result of meeting another furry in his college chorus group on September 10th, 2008. Emerald Saga? What the fuck is that?
Sage.
Sage?
It's sage, like the plant.
Yeah,
the
sage.
Herb.
I just thought fucking shaman. Fuck. Would then immediately enter a romantic relationship, which would be first for him. Yeah, so what is exactly the lore on that person?
So I have chosen not to dig into her too much because I found their real name fairly quickly, and I just decided not to share any of that publicly, although you can Google it pretty easily. But I think they got a history of mental illness, so this just seems like a bad decision on their part. I'm not going to hold them to it. They don't seem to have any, they seem to have very little, if any, interaction with the fandom anymore, so they're not, relevant. But this is just, his first relationship. He's in his 20s, and this is who he ultimately loses his virginity to.
Okay.
He has his first relationship in his 20s?
I think he was, 23, 24.
Jesus Christ.
1986, and that said, 2008 or 2009?
Might have 87.
2008.
This relationship would only last 2 months, as by November of the same year they broke up. Gabe claims to have dumped her over differences.
Yeah.
Well, I broke up with Admiral Sage over differences. She let me meet 2 friends that I know of 3 furries, so I'll be happy I've networked into this community a bit more. I emailed the further and I wanted volunteers. I haven't been contacted for about 2 weeks. Around December, I'll probably just buy a ticket and visit. Okay, whatever. That's just.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh god. However, wait. My ex said pointing to this, this isn't gonna work. However, a later statement that he would provide to his grooming victim in 2014 would contradict this. What?
So basically, Gabe lied and said that he dumped Emerald, but it was the other way around.
It was the other way around.
Yep.
So you're telling me that, okay, so I mean, we'll save the whole victim thing for later, but it is mentioning the Facebook messages between Gabriel and a 17-year-old CSA victim. So so this got revealed when he was talking to the victim that in actuality the other person broke up with him. He didn't do it. That's fucking sad.
Yeah, and some people could say that, maybe he's just doing it to try to get sympathy, and maybe he was telling the truth the first time, which I don't know. it could go either way, but I'm honestly more willing to believe that Emerald dumped him because, to be honest, who fucking doesn't find him annoying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He doesn't really seem the type when he gets in relationships. I assume that he tries everything he can to keep it because it's like, ooh, someone giving me attention.
Pretty much.
And he likes
well,
that.
you know, everything except getting his job, getting a license, holding a job, taking care of the kids, basically doing his own goddamn laundry rather than letting his underwear develop more skid marks at a NASCAR racetrack. You know, shit like that.
That's
Oh
fucking.
my God.
Oh my fucking god. Okay,
Go off, Queen.
Gabe's earlier participations in the fandom evoke feelings of shame as the furry community has been widely associated with sexualization and quote deviancy. This caused him to hide his interest in the culture from his family, whom he feared would judge him should they discover his double life. Okay, let's read this. Why is this relevant? I don't know. It just seems like I want to be active.
It's not too relevant. It's more or less just me shit posting on that point, but you don't need to read like the whole journal.
All right.
The messages are there just to kind of like summarize, and then the screenshots are there just to like verify.
Yeah, so most of it here seems to that he knows his parents probably wouldn't like it, the furry stuff. Very self-conscious about his image, blah blah blah. That's the model citizen. Wait, what makes I feel that what's the model? Blame my parents. Okay, yeah. It's not too relevant, but that is kind of funny. It would take him a little over 2 years, but Gabe would create his persona Chord Kitty in June 20th, 2009. While this wasn't his first attempt at creating a persona, it would be the one that he ultimately stuck with. Gabe mentions at one point that he first attempted to involve a raccoon-cat hybrid. I haven't been able to locate this earlier identity at this time. Says, I've always been really fascinated with the idea of persona. I felt simply pressured to come up with something. I still do, but I also got I got something Chord Kitty. So this is the origins of Chord Kitty, blah blah blah. All right. Wait, what's these? Results: rodent, kitty, otter, rabbit, fox. Okay, so he wanted the other ones. He was trying out other ones. Shortly after, he would not only announce that he's bi, but also reveal the backstory to Khord. To briefly summarize, a man named Chris, while drunk driving, ran over a cat with a karma curse. As punishment, he was forced to transform into a female cat by the will of others. This backstory will unfortunately become relevant later, discussing Gabe's zoophilic tendencies.
Persona has fucking lore.
Though the comic won't emerge until later in 2013, Gabe did in fact commission an art by the name of Admiral I to draw his origin in 11-page manga called Curiosity Killed the Cat. Warning, NSFW ahead. Yeah, we're gonna not show that exactly on stream, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
I
kind of forgot to censor that when I uploaded that, but I can edit that later.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So the stream has shut down that. We'll just go through it. So again, if you guys want to see that for yourself, the links in the description down below will link you to all the relevant Telegram chat archives. So you can see this. If you want, I wouldn't recommend it because it's cringe and the writing is pretty bad.
And also there's Cat Wiener, so unless you're into that Shane Dawson shit.
Yep.
I was not expecting that.
Lots of Cat Wiener. I honestly feel sorry for anyone to end up making art for him. Yeah, I know. Aspiring writers and authors and artists suck because chances are you're probably getting a job from this guy until you get better. Fun. I should know. Let's see. Go lower at this point. There's like some picture. I assume it's probably like younger bullshit. The event was notable as, according to Gabe, the first little fur he met from Furfinity took him to a baby fur room party. Little fur is just an alternative label for baby fur that signifies that the character's age is meant to be somewhere between the toddler ages to tweens. Oh god, this is Yep.
I just threw up in my mouth a little. Holy shit.
But unfortunately, that section is also kind of relevant for later.
Yeah. The first furry I ever met at Fur Affinity Forums was Shadow Koba? Shadkaba? What?
Shade Koba.
Shade Koba. A little fur. Apparently, this means he identifies as a 3 to 5-year-old. For
And I
So that's
identify as a Mossberg shotgun.
he invited me to a baby fur room. It was hilarious. Dutch full-grown furries in diapers and dressing, watching cartoons with balloons and shit everywhere. It was funny. Well, I guess to him it's pretty fucking funny. According to Shade Koba wiki fur page, the person who took him into the baby fur party that would have made the IRL showed up 18 years old at the time. In comparison, Gabe was 23. It's unclear if Gabe was in contact with this person prior to attending the convention, but my personal leaning towards this is yes. If that's the case, it's likely that she was a minor Shade was a minor by the first time we met. Another event would begin attending was Cracked Chicken Fur Meat. That's an interesting name.
Yeah, it's the name of the restaurant it takes place at. Like, trust me, I had the first reaction, too, when I first heard that, because, someone was local to, that side of the U.S., and they're like, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned cracked chicken fur meat, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading this post, and I'm like, is a bunch of, crack dealers meeting up at
Yeah, no, it
a
sounds like a
chicken
place you'd
place?
buy drugs.
Yeah, that was my first thought. So I'm sitting there and I asked him, I was like, I'm gonna need you to back up and explain this to me, sir.
Hold the fuck up, motherfucker. Yeah, no, so it's just it's on the west or east.
I say, want some crack?
It's a San Jose local chicken place that's been there for ages, but it's been a furry meetup spot for the last 2, maybe 3 decades. I'm not actually sure how far back this goes, but I know it's almost 2, at minimum.
Absolutely, a San Jose furry meetup which would be held at a local chicken restaurant. However, it wouldn't take him long to spark tension between himself and other attendees. However, the reason is he wouldn't go to detail and kept repeating to himself that he did not care. Oof, that's a fantastic way to convince people that he totally didn't care, was to keep repeating the fact he totally didn't care.
My name is not important. My name is not important. My name is not important.
This meetup was also notable as it's speculated to be where Gabe would have a fateful encounter with Troy Brandon, aka
Joe Biden?
Steelheart
Burin.
Excuse me.
Burin.
A convicted sex offender and ex-boyfriend to Growly. Oh boy. No.
No Joe Biden.
After released from prison for sodomizing a 14-year-old boy in 2001, Crack Chicken became a regular hangout for him up until passing in 2016 from stage 4 colon cancer.
Yeah, the convicted sex offender who sodomized a 14-year-old boy died from ass cancer.
Fucking fantastic.
Irony and karma are delicious.
Absolutely.
I wish it was leukemia, because that's more painful.
Jesus. Let's see, I don't know if this is important. Let me read a little bit.
The journal, like I said, the journal is the evidence to just what the message summarizes. So
yeah,
this
is copingism. He's losing his mind. He's like, you can't control it. Oh, I'm angry. Yeah, sorry. I think that's fucking amazing. Goes from last week 2 people, thus 5 altogether from the local fur meat. Cracked Chicken said I was annoying. Made me emo, so I skipped it.
Made me emo, motherfucker. When are we in? What fucking year is it? My dude.
This was posted.
He's 24 at this point, just as a reminder.
He's September 23rd, 2010. Jesus Christ.
Made me emo still, motherfucker. You don't shop at Hot Topic, or you shouldn't still. You're 24.
Here's Brian Lincoln Park.
Fuck you. That's true.
A bit
Nah. He's more of a My Chemical Romance kind of person because, the teenagers scared the ever shit out of me.
Look, don't do my Latin teacher dirty like that.
Oh my fucking
the good emo.
god. Bit of a random side note, but Gabe felt necessary to publicly announce the world that the TSA brought out his personal loot from his bags in front of everyone at the checkpoint.
I know I said I was cutting back on the snide and sarcastic shit, but that doesn't mean I can't have fun.
Okay. Dude, you know that you need to have travel-sized bottle for that. Motherfucker. Really? Like, why the fuck would you have that much lube?
You took my bag dragging cove lube. What, Kelly, that took it out of my bag and then laid it out in front of my bag in front of everyone else going through security at the airport. After embarrassing me and invading my privacy, you opened up the lube, you didn't close it properly, and then put it back in my bag. It covered my songbook and backpack while permanently damaging my only physical copy of my original songbook. Yeah, thanks, and fuck you very much.
I mean, they'd have a much better time with that
Coxie
lube.
mauled.
Oh.
Dude, why the fuck did you, like, does he not know how to bring liquids on a plane?
Guess not.
Well, no. See, the thing is, he blames TSA for not closing it properly, which, yeah, that's a party foul on their part. But it's lube, and they just put it back in your bag. Why didn't you just step aside and check to make sure? Which is what I would fucking do in the first place.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
and also, the way that the TSA doesn't fucking look at it, you have to have these certain specific, like, size containers, but just put a bunch of them in there, and just put them in, like, baggies, I think it's 4, and you should be fine. As long as their scanners can pick up if it's anything fucking weird, and they don't ask questions.
Oh
Like,
my
dude.
god. Moving on, Gabe's reputation in the fandom had already been declining. In a journal
You don't say.
on July 20th, 2010, he complains about how 2 unnamed individuals allegedly wrote a thread about him somewhere on the internet where they called him repulsive. This post, if it does not exist, has not been located as of August 2022. He also laments that after traveling 2 hours out of his way, presumably by bus, in order to meet up with someone, he not only failed to show up, but also blocked him on MSN Messenger. That's fucking fantastic. There was another claim of flaking, as well as someone allegedly threatening to behead or run him over with their car if they saw him in public. Amazing. Gabe claims to have reported this incident to the police, but didn't appear to have any actions came as a result. From a later journal, which will be covered down below, see figure 27, it appears that the overtly hostile reaction towards Gabe was due to some poor taste jokes. So there's some speculation as to what those jokes could have been, which will be covered shortly. Alright.
No.
My name, after over the duration of my investigations, most people with whom he had previously interacted with, I solicited for all comments, offered some of the same consensus. Gabe was not well liked in the community from the very beginning. Let's see. Has Khord always been a bad rap in the fandom, or has only been the last 2 years or so? Always. Considering the amount of gross people he hangs out with, that doesn't surprise me. The Kiwi Farms article covered their history fairly well. I think I only just finished reading the thread a day or 2 ago, but it updated so often, so I always feel like I'm going to miss out stuff. LOL. Low-key curious, I don't think I've ever seen a major call-out on him from other furries, except for his fursuit. Do people have such a low opinion on him that they didn't need to do a call-out or something? Kind of. His fursuit is the least of it. I'm kind of coming out of camping, so you can't really reply much. He just sucks a whole lot. Private Twitter DMs from an anonymous source. Later, Gabe had a chance encounter with the man behind the "fuck you, I'm a dragon" meme, Starblade, after Gabe read a blog mentioning both him and Starblade as people to avoid. Starblade was murdered just 2 weeks after Gabe had just met him at a further...
What?
At further confusion, 2012, he had wrote a song about it in order to pay respect. Okay, wow, that's a fucking yikes.
Yeah, that was just a really bad coincidence. Like, that was wild. I like when I found out that would just happen like within 2 weeks of each other. I was just like, I can't not mention that. That's really sad. And
Is he truly the man behind the slaughter?
Oh my
No, he's not behind the slaughter. The guy who killed Starblade was his roommate. The roommate was just psychotic, but it was just a weird coincidence that like 2 weeks apart, that from meeting him, he's dead.
Chord Kitty, your
Jesus.
star now. Is that playable?
It should be.
Yeah, let's try a little sample. Okay.
This is horrible.
The plot thickens, yes.
No questions were answered or judgments made. Ways were all wrong when the
Oh my fucking
This
god.
is awful.
As someone who like semi-professionally does music shit, is like who works as producers, holy fucking shit, I want to dome myself right now. I
Oh,
gotta
God.
go listen to like reference. What the fuck? That's dog shit. That's trash. Garbage. Throw it away. No. Never make music again. You have failed. I hope you get emotional damage.
It's like Bad Company shooting Star with none of the talent. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
You know what's sad is that's actually one of his better pieces. Because
Oh,
like
excuse
Yeah.
me?
no, that's
Yeah.
his most tolerable piece.
Send me his worst.
Oh no.
Oh god, no. Oh my god, send massive fart.
If you have that, send it over.
Oh god, do I have to? It's at the top of his Kiwi Farms thread, and the site's back up now. If you want to just play it.
Yeah, we'll definitely go through, like, maybe as a bonus round, we'll just do it. Yeah. Alright, let's go.
This man is a fucking disgrace to music everywhere.
Let's see, this detail will become significant later, but there is confirmation that Gabe knew Nicholas... The fuck? DK...
Nick Ritelek.
Nick Ritelek.
That's Calu, how the fuck you now pronounce his name.
Cowboyferret before he would meet with his ex-wife. Okay. That's later journal entries. Gabe would not only display more of his family members, but also revealed that the conflict from the previous July was due to jokes that he made. Given the original journal he's seen was posted on July 20th, 2010, where there may be evidence as well as jokes there. Let me guess. I assume the jokes are probably just like some of the insane videos he's made or songs.
It's the music he made actually.
College is so fun. Pimple, doggy breath. Oh yes, oh lord.
What?
Halloween. Brownies on my brownie. Necrophile love. What?
Oh, and this album is gone now.
Oh, pitch collection
Damn it.
software. Old people
I
smell
kinda
like
wanted
dead.
to listen to it.
Fred
I
Smut.
kinda- Oh
Fluffy
my
the
fuck.
bear. Celtic woman. Shirt
Celtic woman.
tags. Stupid songs. What the fuck is this?
I'm so curious. What the fuck is Celtic woman?
fucking title. What is this shit?
Celtic woman.
Celtic
What?
woman. Like, oh my god, what is this?
Like
Oh.
the rest is regular degeneracy, but why Celtic? Why?
I'm actually gonna send Cass some files.
Ugh.
Could you send me them? If they're music, could you send me them too?
Oh my
Yeah,
fuck
sure. Hold on.
god.
Thank you.
So some of the additional songs is Butt Rape, Doggy,
Oh.
and then you also got Necrophile Love. That are
Which I just sent you the files for.
yeah. Oh my
No fucking way.
god. Oh my god. The latter controversy material would emerge due to his cover being criticized for ableism, as well as depicts a mentally handicapped man playing an instrument. But most people took particular offense down to 3 reasons.
I
The
can't imagine the 3 reasons.
the photograph Gabe was using wasn't obtained via a consent of the man in the photo. This is something Gabe would admit to himself, as he said he just got it off Google. 2 2. Because this photo was a man of a mentally handicapped man that the photo was using without consent, clearly demonstrating demeaning manner, it was not seen as only an invasion of privacy, but also as ableist. The initial lack of remorse, as part 3, the initial lack of remorse keeps part from most of the use of the photo, as well as a hypocritical due to being on the autism spectrum as a self-reported victim of bullying. The album cover would be later altered sometime after May 2nd, 2022. And the album cover and the name is Instrumental Disorder. Wow.
Dude, that sounds like a fucking response to like a Quiplash or a fucking Jackbox game.
Yeah, I mean,
that was something that oh god, what's his name? Lucid, which I think he's still trying to figure out how to join the stream, to be honest. But that was one of the bigger things that Lucid got into Gabe about on his stream. Like, that date of May 2nd is when that stream happened, I think.
Yeah, as far as other albums goes, controversies arise due to the subject matter of the music itself. The albums included songs that we just got into, and that's Necrophilia Love, Butt Rape Doggy. The lyrics pieces are rather disturbing. Here's a segment of Necrophilia Live. When I took her from the gravesite, it was very cold and dark. Then a cop came and ruined all of my fun. But after my run home, I had lots of fun at making holes where there was none. Oh, wow, okay.
I don't. What?
Oh
Publish
god.
How is there nothing in your brain that's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this?
Oh, Lucid's actually in the waiting room.
Oh, okay. Lucid's username, is that just like Lucid or something?
The Chord Kitty archive, I think. Chord Kitty says.
Kitty.
Yeah, excuse me, guys. My fucking computer had a temporary spaz.
Boom, Brian.
Hello there, Lucid. Welcome to the show.
He's on deafen and mute.
Is it?
Lamau.
Somebody may need to. There we go.
Hello?
Hello there. Welcome to the show.
I was trying to listen to the stream. Sorry.
Hello. Welcome.
What was I needed for?
No, we just brought you in.
We just figured you'd have more fun in here.
Okay.
If
If you need... Go ahead.
You're going to be doing this live.
So, when it came down
I
to
can hit
it,
the live stream.
when it came down to it, you brought up the music that he made on stream. Like, what was his response to that? By the way, when you asked him, do you like you read some of the titles and lyrics, and he was like, what was his response if that was the case?
Off the top of my head, I don't exactly remember, so I have to paraphrase here. What I remember was more or less he was trying to say it wasn't as big of an issue, that it was a mix of absurdist comedy and dark humor is more or less what he was trying to say.
Mhm.
And I was prodding into him saying that, yeah, it might be dark humor, but the way you're doing it's kind of like, don't you think it's kind of fucked up? Like, don't you think what you're saying is like, it's really surface level? Don't you think it's fucked up? And he really just, he would do anything he could to say, no, it was good. It was comedy. It was like it was a dark humor kind of stuff. And I can try to find the clip from the stream where I pressed him on that if you want me to look for it.
Sure.
It's also just not fucking funny. How?
That's what I was saying.
Let's see,
Like-
another one called Butt Rape. Quote, after he was done, I tried to get up and run, but he wouldn't let me go. I was like his dirty hoe. I said, oh no, but he did it again and again.
I'm hearing the fucking, like, is it the Fox McCloud oh no sound effect?
You know, honestly, that's probably the best way I can think of it. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh no! My god.
Doggy
Jesus.
is the worst, but it's also the shortest, so it's better for you to just play the file and let that ring out. But I'm probably honestly, I didn't realize how tired I was until I started getting on this call.
Okay.
Sure thing, everyone. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's play the song if I can.
I did also find the link in the timestamp in the stream, so we can do that afterwards if you want to.
Sure, no problem, dude. All right, let's give this a good old listen. I think you guys should be able to hear it on your end on the stream Discord thing too.
have a little doggy, he's with me every day. But if he is annoying, then I put him away.
And if that doggy tries to bite, then I'll hit him 6 times with a bat. And if he tries to get away, I'll knock him out lots of times,
Lots of times, lots of times, lots of
Jesus.
times.
and lots more times,
till I see the blood come out his eyes.
File.
I have a little doggy, he's with me every day. But if he is annoying, then I put him away.
Okay. What
the
the
fuck?
fuck?
Oh god.
This is probably one of the few things that will actually genuinely piss me off because I'm a dog owner. Oh, what the fuck, Khord?
So yeah, that's
I'm
that's
about
one of
to
the things,
end a life.
that's one of the major things I was pushing him on was, while I understand that it was supposed to be humorous, funny, joke songs. I listen to bands that like are comedy bands. I listen to stuff like Tally Hall, if you know that. That's a comedy band, and I will say this: there's a difference between funny music and whatever the fuck he made.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to, and I just be honest with you, I do kind of think of myself as someone who really enjoys a lot of like really edgy, dark humor, but
Oh, same.
I don't see the joke here.
Yeah, no, the thing is that, fuck, if we go to an extreme that's, like, similar in caliber to how dark this shit is, I guess, let's look at Moon Man, almost. Yeah, a real fucking throwback.
Oh no.
That at least is funny in a hyperbolic sense of, like, this is what racist people actually, like, this is an over-exaggeration of what, like, racism is and what, like, fucking people are. It's humorous in the absurdity, because it's like shit that isn't gonna be applicable. But this is like not absurd enough, but also like too close to actionable.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, like I would probably say that I would like worse jokes than Chord Kitty makes because you can make worse jokes, and they would actually be funny, and that's the issue.
Yes.
Is the fact is it doesn't have to be the fact it's awful. It's just the fact it needs to be funny. And
When a gator
it
kills
just
a
isn't.
baby, no one calls it a radical, because it's obvious that all of them are dangerous animals.
Like,
You see, that's funny. That's a Moon Man fucking lyric, and it's funny.
let's see, as
It's-
as Doctor Fill just said, the song about beating a dog would be funnier if it wasn't for the fact that the person who made it is a dog abuser.
That's true.
Yeah, the thing that I keep thinking about when I keep listening back to his music is it is extremely surface level.
Yeah.
When you listen to stuff like his Necrophilia love song, his butt rape song, his doggy song, any of these songs, they're extremely surface level. There is no intricacy. Like you could even go listen to something like his most recent work would be his I don't know, was it the like furry musical thing he did?
Yeah.
I think that was his most recent. If you go listen to that, a lot of the songs are very surface level. There's no intricacy, uniqueness to the song. There's no
poetry.
deeper message. He's just saying what is currently on. It's what's all on the surface, and that's what makes it so annoying to listen to this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think that's usually my issue with the humor is that like I've seen people say a hell of a lot worse and still be funny because they're trying to actually make it funny to like look at and whatnot, and it's probably not indicative of the person's actual character. At least not entirely so. It's a little bit hard to say that for Khord because there's a lot of things about his character that's so extremely questionable that it makes you wonder, well, maybe he probably does believe that. And all the shit that's about him, none of it's a good look. And I think that's an issue with him. Doesn't seem to get that.
Yeah, on that front, you can pretty much skip the next message and move on, because that's more or less the point that I made.
Yeah.
Handwriting is
Yeah. Shock humor is like one thing, yeah. The same mention, blah, blah. Okay, I just got past that part. Following the relevant, how deeply disliked he was in the community, Gabe would submerge himself in more hot water for using the word faggot in reference to himself, a detail that people allegedly took great offense over. And journals of him complaining about that. I mean, I honestly couldn't care less. That sounds like just another thing of him trying to get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Something which hasn't been noted, which will be touched upon now. According to Gabe, back during his earlier days in the fandom, he would devolve through thousands of users' profiles on the Furfinity forums in order to scrap Skype and SM contact details. This resulted in him having a large contact list, which, based on testimony from other people, he would spam messages until either people would respond to him or they block him. This behavior, spamming for attention, could carry on for as long as a decade without him taking the hint that people were not interested in talking to him.
Wait, what?
The journal below shows Gabe complaining about 6 people who had removed his Skype contact within the last month, which some of whom had blocked him after he had messaged them. Despite saying it was no big deal, he then felt necessary to air his grievances. In additional detail, what they're noting is in the statement, quote, "I'll not only cut contact with someone if they were extremely deserved."
You know, something really funny about this is this mentions it as if it's like in a past event, but I think BiggusDickus and Rodeo can confirm on this. This is still going on.
It is.
I think recently
Yeah.
he's had instances on I don't know who knows the furry dating app Howler, but it recently got like a different
I certainly
version.
know what that is.
I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but there's
Bark.
a variant of it that what was it? Bark? Okay.
Bark with a Q.
That's
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And he's still been messaging people out of the blue, going on like trying to get in relationship contact with them, having weird like conversations, telling way too much about his personal life. It is still going on.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but damn, why? He can't take the hint.
Chronic incel moments.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. He really can't take no for an answer.
I mean, what's
God.
funny is that's both yes and no, because there is one thing that he'll like not be interested in, but I don't know if we want to get to that yet because it involves a special guest.
Oh boy.
Team Star?
Somewhere between the previous journal, the next journal, Gabe would get into a minor spat with someone called Ring-tailed Fox, a man who he would engage in ERP with. To summarize, RTF message, Gabe requesting to YIF. However, Gabe would apparently wanted, quote, masterful writing, imperfect grammar, unquote, instead of simply roleplay.
That seems like a shit post.
Something he would rather rudely told RTF this didn't go well after, and the two would get into an argument about whether or not Gabe was rude before Gabe ultimately decided to block him.
Dude, what the fuck? That's such high standards for no fucking reason.
Oh my god. For cuddles. Oh god, I'm not getting it.
It's too. Don't read it.
Yeah.
It's
RTF
really gay.
would try to vandalize Gabe's Kiwi. Not Kiwi. Wiki Fur. I mean, that would be funny if it was trying to vandalize the farms. Wiki Fur right after dumping the logs, which upsetted an admin. Yeah, we're not reading that. The changes into the pages were minuscule at best compared to vandalism that will occur later. The hell is that? I'm a bit concerned.
I'm concerned.
This
Yeah,
section
so
goes...
that screenshot is just the edit logs, because basically there's a thing on Wikifur where it actually showed you like the side-by-side comparison of like each section that gets altered. So the left is the original version and the right is the altered version.
That's kind of cool.
Nice. Oh yeah, we already got the thing not showing. That's fine. For a second, I thought it was NSFW. It's not.
I mean, it technically is if we're talking about the brony shit.
Yeah, we got the one with the brony where it has the fucking has a note on its ass, and then the last part of it is, "Come on," it's trying to kill itself.
What the fuck? Oh, I remember. Someone showed that to me.
What
Like
is
totally
this?
out of context.
Is this better or worse than the time he commissioned vor art, like an animation?
Welcome, bronies.
Wait.
He laughs
That's
as he's
actually in this saga.
Wait,
Jesus
nice.
Christ.
he commissioned a poor art animation.
Oh, we'll get into it. We'll
No,
get
he-
into it.
He didn't
It comes
commission
up.
it, I don't think. I think he actually made it himself, and he made it for a 17-year-old that was turning 18.
What?
Yep.
It's got edgy
We
art.
get into that later.
He goes, "Welcome, bronies," and he's laughing as he's pointing a sniper right at them.
That doesn't even look like a good sniper rifle. That looks like a fucking box with a tube.
It looks like a toddler's fucking
It looks like a slide. It looks like a metal slide.
It looks like something out of
What the
TF2.
fuck is this image?
What the fuck?
Oh god.
Yeah, don't worry. This isn't shown on stream, but then it's like
Good.
pictures of a brony variant of, I assume, Chord getting fucked as a female. At least I think that's what it looks like.
Oh, we're about
It
to get into the thing I just mentioned. Okay, sweet.
I hate you so much.
And there's a little shit video he's made, and yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think I'm gonna show that. What is this?
It just
This
turned.
is-
Do you want to be told? It's just. Or do you want to see for yourself?
Oh, you got this. This is Vor, isn't it? This is Vor.
Yeah, this was the art piece we were talking about. That was a gift for someone who just turned 18.
Why?
Jesus, absolute Christ.
He made Vor.
The stomach fucking
think-
acid. I'm gonna just dome myself.
Unless I'm wrong, this is still up on his YouTube channel.
It
I
is.
will look for it. I will look for it. Hold on.
Oh my
There's a
God.
link in that post.
I hate it. Fuck. What?
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
So apparently,
Hold on.
the series of images was supposed to be a quote alternative backstory of the pony version of Chord called Connie, I think. Talked about
Coney. It's
Coney.
supposed to be like God damn it, what was that thing
Chord
like?
Pony.
Wasn't it like Coney 2012 or something? There was like that whole thing about the
yes.
dude who was
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was supposed to be a play on words for that.
The hatred towards
Oh, I-
bronies, despite commissioning porn of himself as a horse, was allegedly due to drama from a house he lived in for a few months in Illinois.
From a horse he lived in, of course, Kaz.
Yes. Shortly before, I mean, that's probably what he thinks like it. Shortly before moving to New York, he doesn't specify what happened, but there's a name given of someone who may have known name. That sounds like Leoki.
Yeah, Leo.
Leo. The two things strike me as odd about Gabe's negativity towards bronies. One, he's still comfortable enough to make them try on their fursuits. He still goes on to be a member of the hospitality for both staff team. Blah blah blah. I don't know either. Plus, she's taking. What is this? Flesh pony.
What?
Didn't even know that's a thing.
I don't want to hear
It
those
was-
words ever again.
It was like a phone base for a pony fursuit.
Let's
okay.
see. I've been in plush pony suits before, says Chord. They feel very light. They breathe very well. It make picking up stuff.
They
difficult.
breathe very well. The skin, it breathes for me. It's alive.
I did a quick cursory glance. I could not seem to find the video just by searching it up on YouTube.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're talking about the pony vor thing.
Yeah. We have officially gotten sidetracked into Vor.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
because he
that or
unlisted
something
it.
worse. Oh, he unlisted it. Okay. Surprised.
Was this like recent?
I guess so.
It
'cause
must have been.
It would have to be within the last 2 months.
God is dead.
Anyways, I hate to dip, but I am honestly like running on like -3 energy. I didn't realize how tired I was. I didn't sleep very well like the night before.
No
I
problem.
will take over for you as much as I can, even though you're probably a lot better at this than I am.
Joe and Rodeo definitely have it. Like, as long as you guys just go from the script, I mean, there's more than enough there. I pretty much cover everything, so there shouldn't be too many questions asked. But otherwise, I might still be reachable via Telegram. You guys got the
Yeah.
channel link, and you got my personal account info. So,
Yep.
Why do all
Alright.
furries use
Have a good
Telegram?
one, Biggest.
Have a good night.
thanks,
What do you
guys.
say about all furries?
Dude, the only time I've used Telegram is whenever it's relating to a furry.
That's fair. Well, apparently that's wrong because my 18-year-old brother says that no, that's where you do drugs on.
Oh
No,
my
no, that's
fucking
what you
God.
use Signal for. That's a joke. That's a joke, DEA. That's a joke.
Yeah, all right, let's just keep going. So, Washington Heights slum era. A little background before proceeding. Washington Heights on a locate on the north end of Manhattan. Blah blah blah. Occupied. Police. Wait, is this like occupied by 33rd? Blah blah. Police. A participant. Or yeah, excuse me. Well, the area has allegedly undergone a significant reduction in crime as of 2021, based on the crime statistics map from the New York PD. The area 10 years later prior was acknowledged by residents as a major harbor for drug-related activity. A detail which will be relevant later was discussing one of Khord's grooming victims. In late May 2021, in May 2011, Gabriel would leave California after graduating from San Jose State University with a bachelor's of music composition, despite his public presentation of being someone who is exceedingly passionate for the arts. That passion doesn't extend to himself personally, as he claimed that he only chose the major in order to graduate quickly. He also states that liberal arts degrees are, quote, useless. And again, on a Kiwi Farms post, he would say this as liberal arts degrees are useless. I did the easy sounding one. I wanted to be out of there ASAP. Okay, Khord.
Like
Always
me.
been ironic to me that he says stuff like that, like it's useless, and yet he's the first time he got a job was when he was 25. It's like, so you acknowledge that you're taking a useless degree. Why are you still wasting your money? Get a degree for something that you think will actually get you money in the end. What are you doing?
Yeah, torture yourself. Become an engineer. Do what I'm doing.
He was
Become a
orig-
teacher.
Four levels of calculus, motherfucker. I love it.
He was originally living in a house in Chicago prior to the move to NYC, but left the residence over unknown circumstances after only a few short months. Given that this will be uncovered in this section, though, it will not be difficult to piece together as to at least a few theories as to what could have happened. Most of the document activity from Gabe in this area will be taking place on the Fur Affinity forums, Twitter, and his Fur Affinity journals, as we've been bouncing back and forth from these three sources. Before launching into details about the housing situation itself, it's worth covering that Gabe's occupation were during this time in New York, as it offers significant context into the issues that will emerge. For the most part, Gabe's primary source of income would be from appearing as an extra in TV shows and films. He attempted to get speaking/minor roles, but according to his appearance on the Other Worlds podcast with its lucid creator, the only speaking role was dubbed over. He also attempted to break into a musical theater scene, but by August 29th, 2012, he lost motivation due to the only role he would ever get were chorus, minor roles, or just not getting a role at all. He felt that he couldn't compete in the market against other competitors and stuck with his gigs in being an extra, since they would pay him, they would at least pay him. One of his gigs was an extra of a set of Blue Bloods, where he was asked to dress up as an adult baby for the Halloween-themed episode. They initially wanted him to only wear a diaper, and then later changed it so that the diaper would be over clothes, as the diaper refused to stay on his face.
I bet he enjoyed that.
Do we? I'm reminded now about the apartment situation. Rodeo. I don't know if it's the right video for it, but the video that was sent in the uncensored chat of the living situation he was in, it was a 50-second video sent in August. If you scroll back down to that, I
I
think
know
that.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you think we should send that to give an idea of what kind of living situation he was fluctuating through, or should we wait a little bit on that?
Sure, you can send that.
Okay, give me a second to go look for it, 'cause it's like, if I remember correctly, it's the one that's like basically showing off the apartment, right?
Yeah, I have it downloaded.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, he was
Alright.
also an extra. He was on the set extra for the Wolf of Wall Street. So he was just some like random business-looking motherfucker.
Why does
I
that
should
all
be able
seem
to
slightly
send
apt?
it. Okay.
The-
It's in
both of
live stream. It's in the live stream Discord chat. Thank you, Discord Nitro.
I feel like it's very apt with his fucking roles that he's been in, because they all revolve around degeneracy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure BiggusDickus would know this way better than I do. The situation, if this is, I don't know where in the living situation saga this was for him. If this was when he got with his wife at the time, or this was before it. I believe this was before it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look through this. This particular prince also notable due to the fact that Gabe allegedly distributed films after recent a rather point disturbed film, clearing off half of the extras that were called that day. Potent Ford. This comment also mentioned the fact he had to be given a new wardrobe on set for TV show because he didn't dry his clothes properly. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm so sorry. BiggusDickus just contacted me. They said it was before.
It was before, okay.
That was before, okay. So when we show that video, it'd be before he got with his wife at the time.
I mean, it does.
Deb.
It doesn't look bad.
It's very small.
Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, oh, sorry.
What the fuck is with the door, though?
Yeah.
What'd the door do?
Yeah, no, he mentioned that on just before we had that debate with Coyote Lovely versus him, what he would go on and on about how he was an extra for like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. And like stroked his ego about it, and then he had like this giant story about what happened to a duck that just like died right off set or something. And made a big deal about it, and I was just like, seriously?
I mean, like, this is for one person, is it? Like, is this living accommodations for one person?
No, there were multiple people living in that, I believe. That
okay.
I think we'll get into that later, but there's a situation where he has multiple tenants there, but we'll get into that later. It comes up later.
Yeah.
Right. It's not time for a cribs review yet.
Yeah, the particular appearance of he farted his ass off, and apparently they got a lot of people upset because it was pretty potent. In regards to what he would do with money he would earn on set, he would go to buy multiple fursuits with it. It goes without saying, but a fursuit is a rather costly purchase, and extra work isn't all that profitable or stable. These are details that would be kept in mind moving forward. How are these 20-year-olds affording 4K fursuits from a random furry? Personal loans, parents, prostitution. Khord responds with, I got my 1K fursuit off of working as a background actor. Jesus. The Washington Heights saga will officially kick off on May 22nd, 2011, where he would make a post for affinity forums in order to solicit for potential roommates. Most of these responding to this thread were people offering who are offering horror stories of their previous experiences with having a furry as a roommate. Initially, Gabe seemed steadfast in his devotion to recreate a furry house. Oh no.
Animal
Oh no.
House.
Sorry, recreate a furry house? Animal House?
Oh no, I was just referencing that one old movie.
Oh yeah. Fuck. However, his tone would quickly change after less than 2 months, stating that he found their personalities quite annoying. Congrats to Gay for the acquisition of the most awesome fursuit roommate he would have never chosen. He could have ever chosen you Thursday in NYC. Oh god. What's strange about this is that a small amount of research, it turns out that the person is originally from and still currently lives in New Zealand, based on several factors, including that this person seemed to have suffered from rather serious health issues at the time, which I wouldn't be going into, as that is their private information. It doesn't seem likely that the person would ever actually move in with Gabe. That said, it's bizarre that he would tweet something a lot like this. Moving on, Gabe then made a post on November 10th, 2011, where he was not only looking for more roommates, but also included more info, such as rent price and how many tenants were expected to be there in the apartment. The thread was active into December 2nd, so there will be lots of info to cover. He expected 7 tenants, including himself, to fit in a 4-bedroom apartment, something that he would receive a large amount of backlash over. Someone pointed out that that the projected total rental income between 7 people came out to a rather odd number of $2,184 a month. This will be touched on momentarily. So, bad roommate.
Wait, doesn't that exceed fire code?
Probably.
I mean, did you see the video I sent?
Where's the
Yeah,
video?
no, I'm thinking just like I'm using the engineers. I'm rotating the cube in my mind. I'm putting the people in Khord's bedroom.
Okay, one
in my
user
mind.
privately messaged him in order to inquire about how many bedrooms were in the apartment. According to the user, Gabe said it was only 1 bedroom to the entire apartment. When the
one bathroom.
Sorry,
says,
bathroom.
one
Excuse
bathroom.
me. When the
One
user
bedroom,
leaked the
they
message,
can all just sleep together.
yep, Gabe then tried to say, "Well, there's maybe more bathrooms. I might have mistaken." Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. That's on a listing.
Sleep where you shit.
That's
you sleep where you shit.
You sleep where you should. That's apparently where he's going. He's got no bathrooms. One user Lizard King, the user who inquired about the bathroom situation, then provided more messages between themselves, Gabe, and someone by the name of Whitetail. In exchange, Lizard asked Gabe how he intended to verify the income of his expected roommates. Apparently, Gabe assumed that he would be open and honest with their income. He wouldn't take any other measures to verify employment or income. He also mentioned that if he only had 4 roommates, rent would be about $500 a month, which leaves on 184 discrepancy from his earlier numbers, blah blah blah. Apparently he can't math. Even more discrepancies would emerge on Affinity Journal. He published 3 days after the above mentioned thread, where he lists having a full room to himself as nearly $550 a month. Splitting a roommate would be almost $275 a month. Would also provide a video tour of the apartment.
Yeah, that's the same video we showed off.
Would you people like to see it? People like to see it.
Look at that door.
It looks like a
What the-
bunker.
What
like
the door
entrance to a
do? What
bunker.
the door do?
It looks
So keep in mind, he's wanting to put in, 7 people in this place, only 1 bathroom. Keep in mind that while you see how small the bedroom sizes are.
Look at that. Shit looks like a World War I bunker.
No, chat.
Take a
think
take a
like
look at this.
Now imagine
Look how
a
small
human
this
being
room is.
and put many of them in that room. It exceeds fire code.
Gabe thought he could put 7 people in this.
7 people,
I mean,
1 bathroom.
technically yes, but also you could fit 7 people. 7 people could
7 people,
live
1
in there.
bathroom.
7 people, 1 bathroom. Yeah, they got a kitchen right here.
No working toilet.
So
Wait, does the toilet not work?
Gabe
I
is
don't
likely
know. the
the one who clogged it. Now it's every man for themselves.
Okay, get a load of this. Get a load of this. Yes, don't you love the view?
I mean, like, worst case scenario, you could always shit off the balcony.
It's New York City. What do you expect?
Again. I still stand by that statement.
Someone said it's paused. I wasn't really sure if it was because I actually played it. So it could be some dumb shit. But yeah, it's if you haven't seen it yourself, you can literally find it in the Telegram, and it's pretty bad. So you had he wanted 7 people in the in this apartment, which didn't have that many bedrooms in the first place, 1 working bathroom. Imagine the nightmare if that got clogged on a busy work day. Ugh. It would be like Lord of the Flies.
Again, just shit out on the
Oh my
balcony
God.
like a normal person.
Who clogged the toilet? It's fucking Khord. He clogged the toilet.
They grab him, throw him off the balcony.
Khord caught it again.
Oh my fucking god, that is awful. Additionally, there was another concerning comment from a user claimed to be only 17. They were allegedly an at-risk youth living in Minnesota who was about to be homeless for an unspecified reason. Unfortunately, the user in question would later delete their profile. There didn't appear to be any other archives from this user's account in order to gain more information. It appears to be on top of risking homelessness. The minor in question was also struggling with substance abuse issues despite all the other details. Gabe still offered to give him a spot in his apartment after they made it clear that they would not be able to pay rent. What the fuck? So, like, make this clear. He's in his 20s. He's well into his 20s at this point.
I know you can't pay your rent, and we're gonna, but I still want to shove you in this room with 5 other people.
So, oh my fucking god. Why, kid? Jesus
Like, that's
Christ.
the fucking... Now that I think about it, it's also, like, a really easy way to spread a fuckload of diseases.
On November 16th, Gabe returned to the her affinity forum thread and lament that due to everyone's negative contributions, his chances of getting enough roommates were ruined. However, he also seemingly outlined other plans for a living situation if things were to fall through entirely, including living in a house in Brooklyn, blah blah blah. There's a reason to believe that the person Gabe was referring to here was none other than Joshua Lockett, aka Kintare, a Zeus sadist who used his connections as a veterinarian technician to commit heinous acts such as on several animals. The reason for coming to this conclusion is based on the comment Gabe made in his own Kiwi Farms thread on April 22nd, 2020. Of course, revealing all of this stuff, Kiwi Farms of all places.
It's hashtag self-report.
I mean, that's just Gabe in a nutshell. Whenever he talks on Kiwi Farms, he just adds unnecessary things we didn't need to know. But thank you, we love that we can add to the archive.
Thank you. Law enforcement will remember that.
Let's see. Dumbass didn't even know about the Zoosatus leaks. Dude, I knew. I actually told him in 2011 that I was wanting to move in with him in NJ, and didn't work out. But thank God this dude was selling the drugs that were being used to abuse those poor dogs. In fact, those drugs killed one of my friend's dogs. At the saying again, Patch is a hero for uncovering that.
The fuck?
Sometimes Chord's stories, they're funny, they're ridiculous, like the one bathroom situation, and then you get this.
I want to die.
I feel that. At minimum, the two had been acquaintances since 2010 based on Gabe's Facebook profile. Yeah, there's a bunch of names on here. It seems like that proves that. Again, if you don't...
What kind of icon is that on the bottom left of that image?
Well, I mean,
What
isn't
is
it
that?
honest, though? He's a fly.
What the fuck is that? That's just Khord. That is a Khord face reveal.
You
That's my mood at the moment.
kitty fly. But yeah, if you...
He's a JRPG boss final form.
If remember, chat, if you don't believe me and if it's not working on stream or not being shown, the all the Telegram stuff is like links you can join through description, so you'll know that I'm not lying about any of this.
Links are in the description below.
Also, feel free to like, share, and subscribe just for the help of it. We're definitely going to keep archiving efforts.
Can we get 1 million likes on this video?
1 million likes.
Get 1 million likes, I will I don't know what the fuck I would do, but Jesus Christ.
After proudly proclaiming that his plans for the apartment were going as planned, another forum user posted on other details of the living arrangements. From this exchange, it glanced that Gabe didn't fully comprehend the social dilemma of cramming 7 hopefully professional working people into an apartment with only 1 bathroom. He didn't...
I feel like Dave doesn't understand the trolley problem. That's like his level of ineptitude.
He also didn't take into consideration the cost of utilities will go up as more people would be in the shared space using them. From what he mentions, though, most of the utilities are covered in rent, minus electricity. Based on the comment, it appears that his only concern is not having to pay a significant portion in rent, which is understandable to try and save money where possible. But the issue at hand was Gabe seemingly attempting to cram as many people as possible into a living space in order to shrink his financial responsibilities without taking into consideration the quality of life for the other tenants. This isn't even going into the issue of how people will be able to properly store their food without the risk of someone else eating it. One of the most common sources of stress when sharing a living space with complete strangers. From the video tour, you can clearly see there's only 1 fridge in the apartment, which won't provide significant space to store food for 7 people. This leaves the residents one of 4 options. 1. Resort to only buying shelf-safe food, keeping it in the room, meaning that people will be sustaining themselves mostly on junk food. 2. Eat out frequently, which isn't the most healthy, nor either, and will be incredibly expensive. 3. Leave out food that they fit in the fridge and hope it doesn't eat. That people don't eat their stuff. And 4. And this is sadly the most likely, leave half-eaten perishable food in the open due to limited storage, which will result in pest problems.
Just die. That's the alternative option.
Additionally, Gabe mentions that out of all of the people who would be moving in with him, one was a woman who was in a relationship with someone else. As previously mentioned, Gabe offered tenants the ability to have their own rooms if they paid higher rent. It seems that the one tenant did take his offer, while everyone else would be sharing. The person who took this offer to share the room with them. This is not a good look, Gabe. What are you doing? Oh, sorry.
And I see a lot of mentions in this of him being dirty, unclean, unkempt, and such. It's funny because that didn't end when he got his own house. It's still going on even to today.
Jesus Christ. You're a terrible roommate. You're dirty, smelling, and creeping out others. Your mother did a terrible job raising you. Text from my roommate. Another allegedly refused to respect personal boundaries. Roommate horror story. One Ford invited 2 friends over to hang out in my room. He came in, refused to leave my room after I asked 10 times. And one allegedly attempted to assault him after failing to pay rent, then proceeded to call Gabe an anti-Semitic slur. Freaked out, tried to get $500 plus of late unpaid bills and loans from my roommate. He swung, pretended to punch me, called me a fucking greedy guy.
No.
It's unclear if these tweets were about the same person.
has the K-word pass.
In all fairness, it would have been, but it's not otherwise stated. It can be predicted Gabe would return to the thread on December 2nd, the projected move-in date for the new tenants to the apartment, and announced that 4 out of the 6 tenants bailed out at the last minute and then blamed it on trolls. This left with only 3 tenants, including himself, in a 4-bedroom apartment. Okay.
Oops.
He also posted about the situation on his, Okay. As a result, he had to fill the rooms with people from Craigslist. However, it's a bit of a red flag that it took less than 2 days to find replacement tenants. Oh no.
Oh no.
2 days later,
Oh no.
he tried to offer
Oh
up
no.
part of his owner in order to cut down his rent in half. This seems to suggest that the woman who was sharing the room with him moved out abruptly. On January 20th, 2012, Gabe would write in journal complaining about various financial woes he was experiencing at the time. It seems that even though he was at the ripe age of 25, he still hasn't learned one of the most critical lessons in life: get it in writing. Among the issue he aired out where being snubbed $75 to pay piano for a Christmas party, which was canceled without notice. His former landlord not giving back his deposit for over 2 months. The music director for a play in Brooklyn called the Colored Museum not paying the verbally agreed upon $300. He paid 2 extra months of rent in his old residence and expected both the old roommate and the replacement roommate that they would pay him back. The new roommate then told him he wasn't going to pay him back and called him a moron. Ironically, this is something that Gabe was even criticized for by members of the Fur Affinity forums back when he was his first attempting to get into the roommate. Thus, it could be inferred that he never made any of the prescribed tenant sign into lease before moving. Otherwise, he would have to pay on the remaining balance? ? His final thread on Fur Affinity forums will be posted on February 27, 2012. From this, more information can be found, including where his roommates were at the time. One person in particular list that stands out. I don't have no idea whether he pronounced that. Fulfries refers to Fulfy, General Fluffy 1 or Matthew, an open Zeusatus whose proclivities were viewed to the public as far back as January 20th, 2010, where he was only 19 years old. His activity may date further back than that. He also did have a Beast Forums account, but that site has been shut down since January 14th, 2019. As to how this zoo activities can be tracked back to a specific date, we can think of or occurs depending on your perspective. Matthew's poor OPSEC for that. A separate document will be created later to explain the connection between all of Matthew's aliases, but for now, the only detail within matters before signing up this for Fraternity was his known alias as Dark 725 Wolf. Okay, that seems a little like was he dyslexic when he wrote that? The username? Weird.
He's edgy.
Under his username, he would post porn site where he would frequently solicit people for sex, including asking for sex with dogs. So
Nice. God damn.
So he has a history of like trying to set up tenants and stuff, roommates, blah blah blah. And every single fucking time, like, there's always got to be a zoophile. Always. Like, there's always a zoophile involved. It's very weird.
I do wonder if it had something to do with the fact he was posting this on Fur Affinity of all places.
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah.
He did no background check on these people. He's just like, hey, any furry want to come live in my place? I don't and the fact he just got he was able to replace one. Sorry, I'm coughing too much. He was able to replace someone in 2 days. Shows that he didn't care about any background checks.
Yeah. Gabe would claim in a podcast that was recorded on April 30th, 2022, that he didn't know Matthew was a Zeusatus. However, he can be ruled out since on February 8th, 2013, he had clearly seen commented on Matthew's for Affinity Journal where he advertised his Beast Forums account. Ugh, okay. What the fuck? He tried to live the zoophile. Yeah, a couple times. Seems to be like a common thing for him. Continuing in the OP of this thread, Gabe left a link to the journal on Furfinity offering more details on a living arrangement. However, it was removed before any archives could be made, thus lost to time based on comments from other users. Though some of the contents of the journal lived on through the thread. So one user pointed out that during doing laundry once every 3 weeks was bound to cause significant hygiene issues.
Holy shit. Wow. Once every 3 weeks.
Gabe would also finally clear up what the actual price of the unit is, and it's rather odd that it's taken him over a year to give this transparency, which somewhat justifies people's concerns of being defrauded. Yeah, most certainly. With this in mind, people still had a difficult time believing that the apartment would only cost $2,190 a month in that area. Blah blah blah. The rent and still is rapidly increasing throughout Manhattan, and in fact, based on some estimates, the median asking rent for the area was about $2,000 by January 2012, which usually, when estimated on places for median rent in an area, blah blah blah. It's just basically just acknowledging the fact that shit gets expensive, and he wouldn't be honest about where the price was going. And rent in general. The issue about how he rent was split was also continually discussed in the thread, as others users felt it was unfairly divided, and it didn't help the matter that there seems to be constant confusion as to how many tenants are actually occupying the space and what the actual breakdown of the rent was. One of the issues of this discrepancy in size between the rooms, if you watch the video on Gabe's recorded, 2 of the rooms are incredibly small, 80 by 90 square feet. One of these don't even have a closet. It's difficult to tell, but it even appears that one of the rooms didn't even have a wall outlet. While it's my own speculation, it seems that the property owner converted a 3-room apartment into a 4 by splitting a room, thus explaining why one room would be missing a closet and the other may be missing outlets. The other 2 rooms are moderately sized, but nowhere near enough to fit more than 2 people. If someone was paying the same amount of $550 per month per room, this will disproportionately affect those occupying the smaller rooms, especially ones that don't have a closet. Again, this doesn't include electricity, which isn't included in the rent. What makes matters even stranger is that, according to Gabe, he was sharing a room with 2 people. If there are 5 tenants in total, 3 of which are in the same room, that leaves 1 person to occupy their own room, which results in 1 vacant room. Again, I guess Gabe can't math. When called out about having a vacant room and the expected rent that would be needed to be compensated by all of the residents, Gabe claims that he wouldn't force the other tenants to split the room remaining cost. He reasoned that he could easily fill the room before the next month the rent was due. However, given his track record at the time, it's not difficult to understand people's hesitance to believe him. Oddly enough, he also asserted that even if the room was left vacant for 2 months, we have to pay enough. Using "we" would imply that he left alone wouldn't be assuming responsibility for the remaining rent. It appears if he did come across shove, he would be splitting the rent somehow. The reason for this assumption he derived from a journal Gabe wrote on March 22nd, 2012, in which details of the sources of income, which were all exclusively from gig working, playing the piano. He managed to pick up 6 tenants from Craigslist. None of the other 5 residents were employed. So basically, no one's going to be able to pay the rent. Off top from the housing situation, he also described his poor facial hygiene, which was resulting in acne score. He's got acne all over his face. He would eat mostly greasy food, getting all over his chin, and then when wash his face, when pimples would emerge, he constantly picked at them. That's gross.
Oh, is this getting to the point we get to the fried chicken and milk incident?
Maybe.
No, do not bring that up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a classic when we get to it.
Jesus Christ.
Based on the next journal, it appears that one of the people Gabe was sharing the room got sick of the situation and decided to move out. While he didn't create another thread, Gabe would return one last time to Furfinity Forum to update his previous thread on the housing situation. Since all this was told from Gabe's perspective, we only have his word to go off of. These recounts should be taken with skepticism. August 2011, one of the roommates whom had been unemployed for 6 weeks, he was living there, attempted to kill himself by drinking cough syrup. Oh, Jesus. October 11th, Gabe had a perfectly good dishwashing system in which what? Gabe had a quote perfectly good dishwashing system in place with his roommate, but one of them took issue with it, and then they complained and tried to have it changed. Gabe refused to negotiate. In retaliation, the roommate threw a broom handle at him, as well as their medication bottle, something that Gabe backhandedly mentioned they weren't taking. The situation is interesting when you take into account that Gabe had mentioned his mother wouldn't teach him how to do anything growing up and constantly helicoptered him over him. With that in mind, and later testimonies come later, it seems unlikely that Gabe was washing his own dishes. If he was washing his own dishes, he wasn't going to be doing a good job at it, which means that the other roommates would have to clean up after him. Either way, the arrangements weren't cutting it for the other tenants, and understandably why they would be upset. November 2011, one of his roommates was on the phone. They mentioned that they wanted to hire a homeless person to kill him. Gabe, having overheard, asked them to stop. They told him they were making jokes before going back to their phone, calling out more specific details on how they planned to do it. At this point, Gabe was getting nervous and he threatened to call the cops. February 2012, one roommate brought a group of minors up in the apartment at 2 in the morning, gave them alcohol, and let them smoke marijuana in the living room. The roommate then snorted cocaine. Another roommate frequently stole from everyone else in the apartment. This included Gabe's milk, his dress shoes, other roommates' bad dragon toys, and a dust cleaner that the thief used to snort out of. February to April 2012, 3 tenants would move in, but none of them are gainfully employed. 2 spent all day getting high, and the other one would masturbate nonstop on Gabe's furniture futon, which resulted in stains being left all over. Although, additionally, the chronic masturbation would only ever be showed twice during the last shower. Wait, the chronic masturbating only showered twice during that time period. What the fuck resulted in the room acquiring an odor? Oh god.
Wow, that's the first time I've heard that Gabe isn't the one that's making the room smell.
Oh my god. March 2012 to April 2012. A roommate attempted to clean the apartment, but also did a hazardous manner. As a result, they threw out the leasing paperwork, gave contact lens case, and his medication prescription sheets. They also managed to spill beer and attempted to clean it up with Gabe's shower towel. April 22nd, 2012. A guest, while visiting the apartment, unclear as to who invited them, and they suddenly became hostile towards Gabe. Apparently, one of the roommates was decided as the apartment security. So, seriously, apartment security, and Gabe attempted to ask him for help removing the guest. When the roommate refused, Gabe locked himself in the bathroom, but the guest then broke the lock. Once the guest left, Gabe and the security roommate would get into a screaming match as Gabe felt that the roommate failed to do his only job. A remark that the roommate didn't take too kindly to, they would move out shortly after, but left their room a mess. It's unclear if this was referring to the same guest or not, but another detail from this month was that a roommate had invited a guest into an apartment who had a prior arrest for theft. The guest left, a number of items went missing. That's insane. The next update on the apartment wouldn't emerge until December 21st. Excuse me. 2013. There may have been other posts detailing other experiences which have gone uncovered, but this was the only one that could have been located at this time. While the journal didn't provide much detail, it's clear that the apartment situation hasn't stabilized in the slightest, and that the dwellings was more than less operating on a revolving door of tenants that could be assumed from the journal. Though it's that Gabe's frustration with his living situation was growing. The details wouldn't be learned until 2020 via Telegram chat. But Gage allegedly spent over $1,000 in 2013 due to a roommate failing to pay rent. Whew, as previously mentioned, Gabe's Wikifur would occasionally be vandalized by other people who took issue with them. One such individual was by the name Melise. There's that Millie.
Melee. I
Melee.
think. Oh, Melee?
Melee.
Melly?
Melly. Here goes Melee. Would go on to mark their own changes into the page after sharing the apartment with him in November 2014. Among other things, her main complaint with him seemed to have been: 1, he was unemployed; 2, he didn't know how to properly interact with people; 3, he frequently asked to talk to most likely his mother in regards to his basic hygiene; 4, he didn't clean his room. She also criticized how he was renting out the apartment, claiming that it was illegal, which very well could have been. Most property owners and landlords have a strict rules against subletting apartments, which are clearly stated in lease that you sign. Health inspection may or may not have been monitoring the unit as well. Lastly, she also implied that Gabe had sex with a dog. Given that he allowed an open zoophile to live with his apartment with him and had previously attempted to move into the zoo status, this isn't at all that surprising. Dishes seem to have been a recurring issue in the apartment.
Oh no.
He eventually tried to solve the issue by creating a chore chat chart, but that didn't seem to work either. Roommates complain all day about dirty apartment. I made a chore chart. They stopped doing chores, but most importantly, they stopped complaining. By September 2015...
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, by September 8th, 2015, he hasn't learned his lesson and wasn't getting any of the new tenants to sign into lease. He was only offering short-term stays, which wasn't helping his situation at all. Let's see. I don't have any other picture at the moment except for this one. Okay, cool.
Same apartment.
Yeah, same apartment. At some point, one tenant moved out on a short notice and demanded their deposit back, something that Gabe didn't appear to be willing to return. This may explain why one of his earlier FA forms was about his rent would have been covered for the next 2 months, despite having a vacant room. It appears that Gabe was collecting deposits from tenants who either weren't willing or wasn't even offered the ability to sign up into lease. Personally, it seems more likely that he never intended to offer people the ability to sign up into lease, given that we saw a tweet where he was only offering protective tenants a 2-month stay. Nightmarishly
starting to sound like he's just getting people to pay for him to live somewhere.
Yeah. Nightmarishly bad roommate told me he decided to move out in 5 days. All he wants is a security deposit back, but if I don't comply, he'll sue. Wow. I mean, yeah. What you expected. This chapter in Gabe's life would finally conclude on December 1st, 2015, where he finally announced he was moving out of Manhattan. Unfortunately, even the departure wouldn't go smoothly, as he allegedly spent over 14 hours cleaning the apartment. Jesus. Moved out of NCY apartment, sent package, cleaned roommates for 14 plus hours. Body is in terrible pain. Right knee is killing me. For those curious,
I have to imagine that wasn't just like 14 hours over the span of 2 days. It probably took him like 4 days to do that.
Oh yeah. For those
And
sorry.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
BiggusDickus contacted me. They said that the whole reason why Gabe would move out of New York was because of the fact that he got married. So that was the only reason why he was moving. Yeah, he went to go live with his new wife.
Is this the one that eventually divorced him?
Yes.
All right.
I think he's only ever gotten married once, as far as I know.
Yeah, I just.
He floundered it.
Well, knowing this, he will never get married in the future. Let's just establish that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moved out an in-swipe apartment. For those curious as to why he would be leaving Washington Heights, we'll be going more into detail about this in the section dedicated to Gabe's marriage. However, to briefly summarize, December 2015 would mark the beginning of his relationship with his ex-wife. They would move into a RV together, which Deb was the sole financer for. Of course, basically, he wasn't the one who got his financial situation together. It was his wife. Post NYC career, his living situation after moving out wasn't much improved as much as one would expect, but this would be discussed later. For now, let's discuss how Gabe's acting career would pan out after his departure from the Big Apple. It didn't. This is what he says on Kiwi Farms. After I left the Heights, I was basically trapped in an RV parked doing 4-hour dog walks in complete random ass places and the shittiest internet that would take 4 minutes to load a 1 minute 360p YouTube video. Luckily, did a few fun filming in San Francisco right before Damien was born, mentioning his kid. There was a number of reasons as to why he gave up acting after moving back to California, but the most significant reason would be because of the following. 1, he refused to get his license. 2, he didn't have his own car. 3, he refused to get a full-time job in order to supplement his acting career or have his own income. 4, he got extremely fat. Do note, he was already overweight to begin with while living in New York due to his poor diet, but his weight would balloon dramatically after leaving.
It keeps confusing me now that I keep thinking about it, how he doesn't have a job.
Yep.
But he keeps getting enough food to get super overweight. That's the confusing part.
Yeah, it could be just like he's just blowing it all on food.
Well, I mean, there was the instance where he bought a bag of candy and ate it all in one sitting. Like a huge bag. Like, I'm talking like a Halloween, value size bag of candy and ate it all in one sitting.
I think he spent $100 on it.
Jesus,
yeah,
fuck.
you're right.
So there's this giant bag, this giant Walmart bag full of candy, and you just ate it all.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
If Biggest Dickus can send us more info on that, that would be wonderful.
There was a number of skits, short musicals, and podcasts produced by Gabe after moving from Manhattan, one of which had their own pieces of controversy attached to them, but we'll have to put off discussing those until later. For now, the last thing he would ever use his acting, singing, or musical skills in any significant way would be when he created a play called The Dragon Within. Pre-production may have begun as early as June 5th, 2017. He says June 5th, 2017 on Twitter. For the record, I'm very, very, very much want to write a 20-minute musical for Biggest Little FC, 2018. Any dedicated first searchers want to act on it. 3 months later, he wouldn't seem that much if any progress was made. Jesus, that's a lot. Let's see. Wouldn't be surprised me if Khord's actually trying to eat himself to death. Probably. From kind of a very depressing environment to put yourself into. Does anyone else want to write a musical in the future? By February 22nd, 2018, it seems that all the music was fully written and recorded, leaving only one hurdle left: being able to recruit performers, since his intent was for the musical to be performed at the biggest, littlest FurCon, which was only left him with a little over 2 months to find performers. Oh boy.
Oh no, that's not good.
One issue kept emerging before the projected due date was the role of the Otter character had been recasted 3 times after projected performance kept dropping out. One of the dropouts happened mere days before launch, leaving Gabe only to scramble for a last-minute replacement. The show must go on, though, and that certainly did. On May 13th, 2018, the play would be performed in front of a small live audience. Aside from the recasting issues, the play was mediocre at best. The premise made no sense. It revolves around a furry wanting to become a furry, The main character also wanted to surgically change species from a coyote to a dragon. On top of the illogical plotline, the acting itself was subpar. From what I remember based on the interview Gabe did, the cast members only had a few days to rehearse their lines, which ultimately boiled down to miming. Excuse me. No one actually spoke during the entire 40-minute runtime. Every speaking and musician number had it done via audio dubbing, and actors were just glorified puppets with little to no direction. Some characters would be present on stage without even contributing to the narrative scene. So they'll just sit there, they'll just awkwardly stand there while the other two characters were the main focal point. What the? What?
I actually did a drinking game with BiggusDickus and I think 2 other people where we watched this. We actually watched this live on YouTube. It was supposed to be a stream, but I don't know if it did end up being a stream. Rodeo, were you there for that?
I was there for that. It was me, you, BiggusDickus, and Elias.
So we watched that, and I can tell you for a fact, it is the most confusing play in the world. So the easy explanation is it's 3 plots going on simultaneously. There's the wolf who wants to be a dragon, and like his plot is slightly trying to find a place in the world thing. Then there's this there's a plot about like a furry influencer. And he's kind of like he's a combination of trying to be an influencer and also dealing with trolls, which there are 2 troll songs, mind you. And then there's this doctor talking about like something about like surgery, but also like mental health and other stuff. And it's a weird convergence of plots that have nothing to do with each other, but also are connected with each other. The music is ear grating, but that's a Chord issue. The actors, there are literal moments where there will just be actors that are just moving onto stage. I watched one instance where the camera was zoomed in on 2 characters. It was an otter and the wolf character. It zoomed out, and there was a character just kind of shimmying on the side, just arms swinging back and forth, kind of just dancing to this non-existent music, and it fucking freaked me out. And I was just watching this happen, and as the music started playing, I'm like, why are all these characters on stage? Who are these people? Where did they come from? Everything was so nonsensical because I don't think the actors knew what they were doing. They were clearly miming the voices, and from what I remember, either it was pre-recorded audio or the actors were separate from the voice acting. So it was like the voice actors were just saying their lines. If it was not pre-recorded, the voice actors were just saying their lines while these other actors were trying to keep in time with the music and the voice acting. It was so confusing. Rodeo, anything you wanted to add about it?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, actually, BiggusDickus just also commented saying that this fucking musical was very much a breaking point in Gabe and Deb's relationship. So
Damn.
Imagine a furry musical being the reason that you break up with your husband.
Wow. Fucking shit, dude. Oh, what type of fucking life is this, Chord?
All I'm saying is, if you have an hour of your time and you have alcohol in hand and you're legally able to drink it, go watch it. It is you will not be able to remember what happens in the second act.
Oh yeah.
The second half, I guess.
Can I say one small thing before we move on?
Sure.
If I remember correctly, there's one part where, like, at the end when they're all bowing and stuff like that, like, one of the actors, as soon as they bow, they just take off. Like, they want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, there's several points in there where actors, like, that don't have any like quote unquote speaking lines that are moving around, as soon as they're not needed anymore, they try to get off the stage as quick as possible. It doesn't look like it, but if you pay attention to them, you could just tell they bow and they just start moving away, and they're forced to come back onto stage, and they just look so defeated.
Oh wow. Yeah, maybe we'll do like it as like an after dark project sometime. Just fucking have a drink watching that. That sounds fucking amazing.
It's
Aw.
terrible.
Wait, what about you, chat? What do you think? 1 for a yes on that, 2 for a no. You're fucking great. Let's see. Even though he completely gave up on his dream to be an actor, in any professional capacity, he still makes a substantial amount of. He still takes a substantial amount of pride in his work he had done prior to retiring, and in fact, he takes so much pride in that if you were to call into question the value of his accomplishments at all, he would get rather hostile over it. Oh wow, yeah, okay.
We got a bunch of ones in chat.
Yeah, we're gonna drink. I'm definitely gonna drink myself to death this month. That's for sure.
If I can get BiggusDickus and the rest of them, I will ask them what the drinking game was, and I'll pass it your way.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have that for Halloween. We're just gonna fucking look at this and just see how far the horror show goes until we just drink ourselves half to death. It'll be great. So here's what I assume is another Kiwi Farms post from Mr. Gabe, where he is spurring the fuck out. Here we go. So I'm a massive fuck up, but when I talk about my resume to prove I'm not, you say I'm saying it's out of egotism. That's a catch-22. That's really not, but okay. I'm a failure when I don't have my name successes on an egoist when I do. Sounds like you all are playing brain games on the subject. It's the inspiration of every furry to essentially be featured on National Geographic. Yeah, it's called the show National Geographic, How to Hunt a Furry. You guys want visual proof? Here it is. Proof that I've not failed at life. I've really gotten on that damn animal channel. Damn animal. Yeah. What the fuck is that about? Does anyone know which one's this about? I forgot.
Let me check.
Damn animal channel. Okay.
Oh, I think that literally is a picture of him. That's a still frame of him.
Not National Geographic. Okay, cool. You're guilty of being a degenerate. There's no if, and, or buts regarding that. He goes, definition of degenerate is someone of declining or lacking physical, moral, or mental qualities. My physicality has been so good, it's gotten me in supporting roles in musicals and TV shows. My mental faculties must have been good enough to get me a high school and college diplomas. My moral faculties can be best reflected by the track record of having no criminal charges in my name. That's not exactly indicative of moral character, but okay.
He loves to pull that line of yeah, I didn't do anything illegal. I've been charged for no crime, rather, he would say. That becomes a lot more relevant within the past few months, I'd say.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay, so that's where it is. One of the most entertaining instances of this would be when Gabe claimed to be a legal expert based on the fact that he appeared on a fictional courtroom on TV. Oh.
I played Ace Attorney. I know how the court system works.
Objection. Oh right. A Twitter watch list is really though proof good one. I'm the only furry in the fandom who has been through in one court gallery of the People's Court, The Good Wife, Law and Order, SCVU, Blue Bloods, Manhattan, blah blah, race fights, blah blah blah. Bridge of Spies. I am greatly comfortable in the courtroom setting and have a basic understanding of their protocols. Oh god. All Kiwi Farms is the only kangaroo court that accuses you of having sex with a kangaroo. The intense era of insecure, brood, upper middle class liberals is intoxicating, unquote. Yet everyone in Kiwi Farms are too stupid to understand. Even in kangaroo court, the crime must have a date. I do not have any crimes. I am just a witness of some previous unknown phenomenon. Okay.
He loves to pull that. What was the date? What was the time? He loves to pull that.
Yo, yeah. There are so many examples of his behavior later on down the road, but this tweet perfectly summarizes how Gabe would respond to criticize in the future. They got nothing. They're just envious that I succeeded in life so majorly. Furries often resent successful folks. I've acted in movies, TV shows, been a music teacher, a off and off Broadway musical director of an African American play, dance competition winner, and musical playwright. These...
Can I talk about the teacher thing?
Sure.
Because I looked that up. So I looked up real quick. Someone was passing around in the Chord Kitty chat of his work history, and he posted it publicly on I think it was his Facebook or whatever. And I saw that he had put up something about, it was some sort of website he used where he had done basically teaching for about 2 months, I think. Mind you, he had done it so early that he could not have gotten a teaching degree within that time. He could not have gotten a teaching license of any sort within the time frame of when he graduated from the college that he did to get to this point. All I'm saying is he had no credentials going into teaching this stuff. He did it on a website without having any credentials. So keep that in mind.
Jesus fucking Christ. These outbursts, while seemingly insignificant, helps to paint a picture of how an insecure narcissist that's been dealing with failure to launch, unquote, syndrome from the very beginning of his adult life. Something which hasn't been covered much in detail is the fact that Gabriel's father had stepped in multiple times and paid for the rent of the Washington Heights apartment whenever Gabe himself couldn't afford it. This is later after his father had already paid for his music commission degree, which we've clearly seen Gabe say is worthless, which was something that he did in order to get through college as quickly as possible. Couple this with the fact that throughout Gabe's childhood, his mother was constantly overprotective. It paints a picture of a man who's never really grown up. He never truly had to face the consequences of his actions. He never been challenged. He never had to resolve conflict on his own, and never learned how to properly stand up on his own 2 feet. Unfortunately, the results of this enablement, as much as being completely starstruck by his small stint in the film industry, which led Gabe to grow a massive sense of entitlement, a behavior he carries to this day and will become more and more apparent over time. His write-up continues. I hope to illustrate this further, but on that note, I am afraid we must end things here. Please tune into discussion groups that will be linked into it, and of course there is a section that is where you can, talk about this stuff, whatever, count stuff. So we're practically at the end of part 1. Wow. Alright, so we'll definitely take a small break here, and we'll talk to some people who have waited patiently to join in VC and express their opinions on the situation. What they've been reading so far, and then we'll quickly go back to part 2. Let's see.
While you do that, I'm gonna try to find that one thing I mentioned to make sure I was correct.
Do it. Yeah, this is just part 1. This is part 1. Yeah, this gets pretty insane. Hello there, Iris. Welcome to the show.
I've been summoned.
What have you been thinking about all the crazy shit we just read into?
I've been following Chord lightly over the past little bit, so it's been a bit of a refresher. There's a lot I didn't know, a lot I was aware of. It's more so just, there was the description of him as somebody who's never faced consequences for his actions.
Yeah.
And I think that really hits the nail right on the head.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect. There's a few interactions I've had with him in the Chord Kitty says, or whatever the archive on Telegram is.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go over my favorite one?
Go ahead.
Rodeo.
Yes, do it.
So, and I have the video. I can probably look it up and send it in a minute, but we were grilling him because he likes to join in every so often and talk about whatever, like interrogate the new people who join in. He does it weekly.
Mhm.
And I don't remember specifically what, but we were like, why haven't you blocked Growly? If you're familiar with Growly.
Yeah.
And he said, I did, to which I, as a joke, said source, to which, after a bit of back and forth, he decided to send me a video on Twitter. It showed that he was still, that he had not blocked Growly, and that he was in a group chat for the video, like, movie thing. Rodeo and Lucid should know a bit more about that. But in this video, like, group sharing thing, with him, so they were both in the same group. Let me try and find that video.
If I
think
remember that situation correctly, sorry.
You would send it to me, Iris. So you should be able to, if you check DMs between us, I think you should be able to get it
that's right.
easily. Go ahead, Rodeo.
Sorry. If I remember that situation correctly, I was at work at the time, so I wasn't able to be like a part of the first part of the conversation. But the whole thing is that he was caught still interacting with Khord around the time around like BLFC, and then it was soon like found out that he was attending like these little movie nights with Growly. And so once we were grilling him about that, being like, okay, well, why haven't you blocked Growly yet? He ended up like saying like basically as what Iris said. He sent the video and it showed that he did not in fact block Growly. I have the screenshots if you need me to send them.
Sure.
I just sent it in if you want to watch it.
I also found the LinkedIn work history. I was wrong about the thing of him being a music teacher. He was an English teacher for a small period of time, and that let me just say, as someone who is studying to be an English teacher, looking at his work history, no, there's no way he could have been able to start work on an English degree, to get an English teaching degree that quick, and then start. No, he didn't have any credentials.
Okay. Yeah. Before we go in, I have to let some people in. Hello, Grinch Bear. Feel free to express your opinions about what you just saw on stream if you there to watch it. What's up?
Just why? Why is this man allowed to continue being?
That's actually a pretty good question.
Okay. Also, okay, I have multiple gripes. For one, did I hear someone say the motherfucker adds crystal light to wine?
Yeah.
A while ago.
Okay, as a seasoned alcoholic, how fucking dare you? It's one thing for wine to just be bad. It's another to completely ruin wine on your own. Just what the fuck? And also, Khord, I know you're going to be watching this.
Oh, he's probably
you
watching it right
you
now.
are the most down horrendous motherfucker I have ever seen.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
To
It's
not
gonna get so
only
much
try
more
to
worse.
manipulate a minor into sucking your pathetic hold on, my fucking cat wants in apparently. Hello. Can I help you?
Pussy magnet.
You're just gonna stare at me upside down?
Kitty.
Okay. Just gonna...
You know, trust me, my cat was freaking running around earlier, so I apologize if you guys hearing like background noise from me.
Khord, the fact that you would try to manipulate a CSA surviving teen into touching your sad little pecker is just absolutely disgraceful.
Yep.
And how fucking pathetic can you be? It really doesn't take a lot to go to the local bar and pick up a cougar or something.
Yeah.
If I can do it, as sad and lonely and alcoholic as I've been in the past, then you, okay, to be fair, you're not much of a man anyway.
Yep. Anyway, I'll see you back onto this after we get to another part, because we're just gonna.
I'm actually gonna hit the hay, so this will be it for me tonight, guys.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me on.
Later, dude.
Have a good one.
Hello, Hectagon Jack. Feel free to express your opinion.
Or don't.
Guess we're not.
Type some. Oh, and he's gone.
Hello there, Adam. Feel free to express your opinion.
Well, hopefully I can, there we go.
I can hear you. What's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing? I'm not gonna lie. Let me mute the stream there. Not gonna lie, I wasn't, listening too heavily in. I was just getting some math exam done, so that's always fun. I love spending 6 hours straight doing nothing but calculus. It's so creamy and dreamy.
Sweet.
So, for the parts you did catch, express your opinion on
God,
based on those.
Cass, I cannot hear you, so I'm gonna have to do a thing. Fuck, no, don't you dare, cunt. Where are you?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
There
Hello?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I hate myself. Okay. Anyway, I did not hear anything that you said before, so what was that?
For the stuff you did catch, feel free to express your opinions on that. Like, what did you notice? Anything striking to you?
I've had 2 DM sessions with Khord. The first was under my actual Twitter account. He's since blocked me. And he admitted to being in some certain places which the Kiwis took of interest. And also, I also DM'd him under another account, a Wetwork Sock Puppet account that I disguised myself as a pro contact zoophile on Twitter. And let me tell you,
no.
Khord is certainly very, very friendly, chatty, and cheerful to talk to someone who is an open advocate for animal sexual abuse. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I'm not one to throw baseless accusations around, but come to your own conclusions from that, if you will.
Right? No, interesting.
Oh, do we want to mention the funny thing you mentioned about that now, or do we want to wait about that?
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, let's see. What part are we going into? So part 2 is the Beast Within. That's what we're going into. It's
Oh, Jesus Christ.
noticeably a lot more fucked up, but kind of a bit smaller than part 1, thankfully. There is a lot of NSFW stuff, I remember, if I remember right, so there will be a lot of skimming. So
The bestiality within.
So yeah, we're talking about more zoophile specific shit at this point.
Then that would work perfectly for just when you want me to talk about that. I'll let you know.
Sure.
Yeah. The bestiality within.
All right. See you later, Adam. When you want to be able to talk about that, feel free to hop on.
Yeah, I'll say, man.
All right. So I think we have enough of the break going on there for now. So we're gonna be at part 2. That's where we are, and the title's called Chord Kitty, the Beast Within. If anything, I should probably just prepare these videos to be like a part each stream instead, but we'll just go with it on this one. Whatever. Let's see.
A fucking 5-hour stream.
Yep. It's not the first time, unfortunately. You are here at part 2. Author's note: graphic warning, content warning. Mentions of animals also contains fictional depictions of sexual abuse of animals, as well as graphic depictions of sexual intercourse between animals. IRL depictions of animal abuse will not be directly involved in the media file. An archive source will appear in the document, will also include a warning. In this section, we'll be discussing Khord's proclivities towards bestiality, as well as the people who he knowingly associates with and shares the same internet. I'll be leading with the earliest instance of, We'll be branching into broader instances of worrying behavior. The overwhelming amount of evidence had to be split from the examples of pedophilia in order to preserve the integrity of the data. For more info, relate to the accusations against Gabe on pedophilia. Please stand by for the next document. Alright, so this is the start of it. Now, again, we're going to have to keep this a little bit-ish brief. because it is very NSFW, so there's a lot of stuff I can't show here on YouTube about it. That being said, it is concerning data, so we'll talk about it nonetheless. So we'll have a little bit of this, and once we get into sections that come across as NSFW, we're gonna read it off or whatever. Again, if you don't like that and you think I'm bullshitting you, check in the description down below. All the parts of the Telegram is right there for you to see for yourself. For many within the affliction, animal abuse typically presents itself sometime near adolescence. With the current knowledge on hand, doesn't appear that animal abuse was outright present in Gabe's youth. However, there were other red flags as early as 2002 when a 16-year-old Gabe would be allegedly draw porn featuring the characters Calvin Hobbes, a comic book strip about a 6-year-old boy and his pet tiger, unquote. Additionally, there is also the song Doggy from his album Major Abortion Project, which was originally written and performed in 2004. Before being released, before being released in 2010 on Bandicam. As a refresher from its previous mention in part 1, the entire premise of the song revolved around brutally beating a dog repeatedly for annoying him. That's lovely ownership of an animal. Another piece of info which Gabe supplied on both Kiwi Farms threads, as well as recorded calls on the YouTuber Coyote Lovely's Discord server. He went into detail about the human sexuality course he took in college sometime around 2005. According to Gabe, one of the quote-unquote virtues the professor touted was the philosophy that no kink sexual inclination is abnormal or unhealthy. Gabe would then later compare zoophilia and pedophilia to flavors of ice cream, though this section of the recording was corrupted. That's
better or worse, to be honest. For better or for worse.
That's very telling. On the contrary, let's say so someone said talk about some psychotic medication. He says, I took human sexuality class when I was in college. I know very well that my favorite personal fetish was not only that my personal sexual fetish is not only common but healthy. It says something that the largest furry website in the world made TGTF its own category in the main internet search. By not understanding what a healthy sexuality is, you probably have a lot more to learn than I do. That's later on, he would create his own F-list profile in November 18th, 2009. This is the one we also talked about on the previous show, on the debate with Coyote Lovely versus him. So he faves age play, barbed cock, extreme pregnancy, inexperienced partner, masturbation, messy, multiple partners, risk of pregnancy, role reversal, transformation, vaginal sex, reversing, zoophilia. Auto-inflation. His yeses are auto-inflation, compilation, consensual, hand jobs, inflammatory, knotted cocks, licking, romance, sexual exhaustion, sexual frustration, stomach bulging, voyeurism, and his maybes are dirty talking, latex rubber, non-sexual roleplay, orgasmic control denial, photo advocates / videotaping, sex toys, strips, teasing, underwear bulges, vaginal fisting. Yeah. The fact is that he says absolutely fave on zoophilia is very fucking revealing. And the fact is he tries really hard to deny this on the actual debate platform. We were debating him on the subject. Like, he would just try so hard to pretend it wasn't an issue.
There's an interesting clip from the stream that I had him on that many people don't know. Many people know from the stream I did with him, the infamous clip of I don't care about the age of consent.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know about the clip of him basically saying that in some artwork he got of his character that was transformed from human to feral animal, while he was the transform one, the animals that were fucking him were not transformed. They were already animals. There was a clip of that I can grab and put in the streaming live stream Discord chat.
Sure, go ahead. Unfortunately, an archive version does not exist due to an age verification request blocking the archival tool from saving the page before Gabe deleted, but as well as many. The image above includes the URLs, so suffice. Take notes of the fetish list under fave, and yes, categories are barbed cock, transformation, zoophilia, nod cocks. For the unaware, the penis of the most species of felines contain barbs in order to prevent the female from moving during intercourse. A knot refers to the anatomy of, you know what that means. Most canine species called the bulbous gland, which is particular fixation on glands. It also benefits the reader to be refreshed on Gabe's specific sexual fetish. Gabe's fantasize about turning into female cats and being raped by other cats as punishment for additional details of wanting to be impregnated. Yeah, he's kind of into that. He somehow thinks that his characters, for his, like, shitty comics, that, like, karma is, like, female people being turned into women cats. Female cats, like, you're a dude, you get turned into a female cat, and then you get raped for consequences somehow. I don't know how the fuck that works, but alright. That's apparently that's apparently what he thinks consequences should devolve into. The F list would be one of the most significant pieces of evidence against Gabe when it comes to proving his interest in bestiality. When he was initially confronted with the evidence, he claimed that the profile was solely made for roleplay and that he didn't know that it was the definition of zoophilia when he created his profile. Yeah. Again, when we were on stream, he literally would sit there and try to say he didn't know about the extent at the time of what that meant, which is kind of bullshit, but you know how people like him could be. Fine, don't give a shit about false rumors, snowballing this shit, keep it out of control, like someone. So this is him trying to say, and play lots of denial about, the specific nature of what his content, or what he's making tends to be. This was proven to be a lie, as he would also state that a Zeus sadist sent him an article 2015 from a bestiality site, which attempted to debate the differences between zoophilia and bestiality. This comment in particular was his effort to try and explain why he had bestiality, snuff, or gore porn sites bookmarked on his laptop that his ex-wife allowed him to use. More on this briefly. Yeah, he's also into snuff, people. So, really gross.
There is a little comment that I'd like to add that I thought more about. I don't know if I mentioned it with Iris or whoever, but the whole thing of him, he's gonna make a huge debate about the zoophilia, what it means, its definition, and all that. Like in the video I sent, he's gonna make a whole debate about that. But what's funny is stuff like F-list allows for custom tags. So while if he wanted a specific thing and a specific interest, he could have added a custom tag, but he chose not to. He chose to go specifically with zoophilia.
Let's see. Additionally, sometimes around 2011, Gabe would begin to explore the more sexualized side of the fandom in depth as he began to favorite SNFW art in both his This Is Gabe and Chord Kitty for affinity counts. There are a few primary examples. First, a piece depicting the child version of Simba from Lion King having sex. I am not showing that on stream. That is a no. Let's see. A woman transforms a human male into a female dog who is then raped and then impregnated. Again, not showing that, but again, if you think I'm bullshitting, go ahead and look at the description.
Oh, I just got reminded of something interesting while we're talking about this.
But
I don't know if this was exactly October 3rd of this year, but Gabe made a comment to someone saying, the F list is not a fetish list. It's a website for role players to talk about what can be in a role play. As I've explained, in 2012, I was ignorant about the meanings of a lot of it. He's saying that about F list. What does the F in F list stand for, Gabe?
Jesus fuck. Okay. Well, thankfully this time around a lot of the NSFW is censored, but I'm still not showing it. But yeah, a man being transformed into a feral cat, and then before being gang raped by an entire mob of other cats. Jesus fucking Christ. A man being raped by one of the cats from Sailor Moon is in various positions. A man raping one of the cats from Sailor Moon. Thank God this is fucking. This is only a small sample of the type of content that Gabe likes to partake in. There are dozens of examples, but I'd rather keep these brief. I completely agree with that. Circling back, there are photos of websites Gabe had bookmarked for over 4 years and had references as a defense to why his F-list doesn't make him a real zoophile. He goes, there is a text file, anarchy? Not a secure one, that's filed together so that the experiences, advice, Q&A, as to how to have sexual relations with dogs, health concerns, and health tips. What the fuck? I'm a 35 male and live in USA. I raised and showed a dog and have enjoyed sexual relationship with dogs exclusively since 1982, having started when I was 9 years old. I don't have sex with people. Oh my god, this gets bad.
No, but see, he likes saving fucked up links. No, you don't get it. He likes saving fucked up links. That's his whole excuse, right? You know?
You ever like, so, oh yeah, he tries to, okay, even on stream it show, well, it doesn't show it on stream, but yes, he does coping. He goes, do you ever like to save fucked up links? Like links that are most fucked up sites you've seen? Kind of. I used to read and watch true crime, and that's my fascination with lolcows. No, I don't actively seek, like, gore or anything like that. And then he replies with an image that's not shown. Because it's an archival thing, it doesn't show it. Have you seen this shit before? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, it's fucking insane. But you know what? After I bookmarked it, you guessed it, she screen capped it and sent it to all her friends saying, this is proof of Khord being a zoophile. I remember first finding out about the link when someone told me about the dolphin rape cave Google map links. Have you ever seen that? Talk about regrets, lol, hindsight 2020. She took these one of days, said Khord, showing the kids pornography and snuff films. Let's see, okay, so this is some of the screenshots taken by his wife. I'm not going to show them because I don't want people clicking on websites. But some of the names include Furry Locator, imported from text files, Popping Joe's Shoes, Dog Yif Questions, Khord Kittyness, and the Pod Optic. I don't even know what that is. I think that's a podcast website. But if you look at these in the actual thing, these are some like weird fucking bookmarks that seem to have a history. There's Live Leak, another one. Murder Inc., Murder and Genocide Images.
There's a website here called goregrish.com
There we
that
go.
he had bookmarked.
Yeah, there we go.
That's in the background of that screenshot.
Yep. Docs watched. There's a lot of fucked up photographs of bookmarked sites on Gabe's computer taken by his ex-wife in quote private conversation he had with Kiwi Farms users, a concerned third party 2020. There is a couple issues as argument. First off, F-listers definitions for each and other link displayed on their site. There's also a custom tag which can be created on their own. So these are marked with red bull eyes. Below is a screenshot showing the definition of zoophilia by the F-list. This is their definition of zoophilia. Refers to a sapient creature engaging in a sexual act with a non-sapient animal or playing a non-sapient animal in an RP and being engaged by a sapient creature. Now, that makes sense because if anyone knows anything about like furry porn websites or F-list, whatever, they always have a definition for you to look up if you feel confused about what a word means. So there's no excuse. It's up to you to know this. You don't just like look at this and go, oh no, there's very easily readable shit that you can read by yourself if you want to know what a fetish is.
I will add to that, when I had to like make an F-list account to figure out how the thing worked, because I wanted to make sure Chord was, if he was wrong or right. What it does is it brings down segments of like individual things. You click on like a segment, it brings up a whole list of different options, and you can do either fave, yes, maybe, or no for individual items of this. And right next to that, it brings up the with the name and the options, it has the full description. So in that individual block, it has the full thing saying that. And from what I remember, zoophilia is at the end of one of the blocks segment things. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. Secondary, it's rather odd to keep multiple sites presumably only viewed once or a few times a year bookmarked for over 4 years later. Third, if the reader pays close attention to screenshot of his F-list profile, you'll notice that the sites keep track of the last login and last updated metric of your user profile based on the time frame given by the site. The last time Gabe would update his profile would have been between May 27th to 30th of May 2013. The last login to the profile would have been between July 17th to 20th 2015. As Gabe had mentioned himself, he wasn't aware of the definition of pedophilia until July 2015. While he may be a maybe a coincidence, this lines up rather neatly with the supposed entropy of what zoophile actually is. Furthermore, once these arguments were criticized, he couldn't come up with a decent answer. Would be change the story again on Kaz and Coyote livestream. This time, he stated that the reason that he kept zoophilia on his F-list was because of the definition of the word sapient, a word he couldn't even pronounce properly, was called out for his he was called out for this during the live stream, as well as his Kiwi Farms thread. The operator of this thread pointed out that he not only did Gabe fail to bring up a few arguments on the farms during the month that he was active, but it wasn't even something he mentioned on Twitter until after the live stream, a platform that had grown to be his one man soapbox the months after he shared from his own thread. In fact, it seems as if Gabe was just sitting reading the Google definition of the word lives because he couldn't think of any other argument to present. Sorry, excuse me. I think my brain's starting to rot after having to constantly like look at this retardation. Apologies. So again, as stated before, it's not hard to figure out the word sapient means and the exact specific definition of what the word zoophilia means. So it's basically just him being a little bit pedantic and trying to skirt around the subject, as usual. And in plenty of tweets. Again, we'll skirt over that because we already know that. In fact, we have already had a stream on that months ago, kind of screaming at him about how he can't understand the word. So there you go. If you want to see that, if you're new to the channel, it'll probably be in the description, if not in annotation.
I'm still frustrated how he mispronounces it every single time. He keeps saying sapient, and I don't know how. Why do you see the A as an E? And not only that, you see it as a soft E. Why do you see it as sapient? That's not how you pronounce that at all.
I don't think even I said that. Fuck. Sometimes like I sometimes even stumble my own words on occasion, but this is like what why are you dumb? Why are you dumb like this? With that in mind,
Wait, you lie, you wrong,
you wrong, you troll. With that in mind, it begs the question: why did Gabe keep tag on his profile if he finally knew what the definition of pedophilia meant and claims that it's not and that he's not a zoophile? If he had specific sexual fetish, he could have made a custom tag for it, or even went into detail about it in the bio section on his profile, a common practice on the site. Even after taking all of these points into consideration, there would be still a problem of openly admitting to having a sexual preference for animal genitalia. No matter how anyone attempts to rationalize it, you're still attracted to an animal which couldn't offer consent. Though Gabe's Kiwi Farms account Gabe's Kiwi Farms thread was created on March 8th, 2019, he wouldn't be publicly released up until over a full year after. At this point, he would quickly discover the thread and make changes to his F-list profile. Despite removing most of his pedophilia-related kinks, he kept Zoophile and his favorites before ultimately deciding to finally delete the profile in August 2020. By this point, it was just more than established that he knew that the definition of the word pedophilia was not, but he still opted to keep it. It could be definitely proven as well that Gabe's fixation for animals' genitalia extends to real-life scenarios, and it's not just fictional fantasies. On March 25th, 2018, Gabe would then post in Telegram group called group Cats NSFW, asking people if they are wrong to watch cats mating videos. So, likes to watch actual cat fuck.
Cass, do you need help? Do you need someone to read the chats for you?
Please, I think I'm starting to have brain rot.
I don't mind taking over if you want me to.
Sure, go ahead. Read the DMs on the Telegram that.
Give me 1 second.
Fuck me.
Yeah, it was seeming like you were having a bit of I don't know, like you were like fading out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna just read off where he is starting to talk about the cat's NSFW chat. So Khord starts off after there are 2 people that seem to have left. This started in March 25th of 2018. 2 people left the chat, and he says, "Y'all afraid of the barbs? That's why you can't handle of the heat of the meat," he says in full caps. "Everyone who stayed here can handle the barbs. Congrats." Someone named Dune Night Fury says, "Lol." Khord goes back and says, "My mom and wife were allergic to cats, so made me always want to have one. Such sad." Dune says, "That's why you are a TheCuteCat now." Khord says, "Yeesh, yesh. That's the only way to get a cat. It be one." Dune says, "We're all cats deep inside." So a person named Namu Griff said, "Some more than others." Some unknown person says Merp. Dune says, "Or have a cat deep inside us." Winks. There's a little squiggly line, so it's furry porn thing. I'm trying to read this, but things are in the way. Khord says, "Is it wrong to watch cat mating videos? I feel embarrassed to admit I watch them." Someone named Leno replies, "No, P." Dune replies, "Heh." Some random person, I think it's Leno actually, replies with their fursona drawn in a very small baby fur kind of looking way, similar to the art that we may or may not see this stream that Gabe commissioned of his own children. Dune says cutie cat, and another person named Synth the Sphinx says agreed. And then we get on. Do you want me to continue on for you, or do you want to take back?
I think I'll try taking back a little bit.
All right.
Oh god, this is gay. When he was confronted about this in another Telegram group, exposing furs discusses the fuck, he claimed that he was talking about anthro cats and that the person who was criticizing him for this was removing context, as usual. That's the usual excuse. His way of proving that the other user was creating a false narrative was to post a different screenshot where Gabe joked about heterosexual cat orgies after finally seeing a cat in the neighborhood he had recently moved into. Unquote. Wow, okay, hold on. So in this one, it's just him responding to someone and going, "He regularly followed me in the chat rooms and take screenshots out of context. For example, in this chat, I was talking about an anthro cat, so he removed that context to make it sound like I was talking about a real cat. Typical troll." So as usual, it's basically just him complaining about dumb shit, and oh boy. Yep, good, I did not have that on stream. We already are in porn territory. For those wondering how that proves that Gabe is... For anyone wondering how that proves that Gabe is innocent of watching real-life animals having sex for his own pleasure, it doesn't. If anything, this is just another odd indicator that Gabe only views animals in a sexual manner and not as a sentient creature with their own wills. It also doesn't help Gabe's argument that the screenshot he posted was cropped. One of the people who replied to him in this context of the cat orgy comment was someone who sent a cartoon depiction of a cat flashing its sphincter and having a middle finger to the... Yeah, okay, cool.
Gross.
Not showing that.
We don't need to.
Yep, not showing that. Nope. I'm good, sir. I don't want to get in trouble with Susan YouTube. Susan on YouTube already hates me as it is. The cat...
Susan YouTube.
Susan YouTube. The Cat's NSFW cartoon is filled with brim of fictional depictions of quadruple cats. No, not all in sexual position. Not anthros, in sexual positions in which of itself is rather significant red flags. Furries will typically use feral as a substitute for real acts of bestiality, as it skirts the legal boundaries, and that. When he was confronted again by the YouTuber Coyote Lovely and Kaz Warfox on livestream about the message from the cats in his chat, Gabe would freely admit that he was in fact watching real videos of cats having sex. Not only that, but he would even elaborate that he was in fact binge-watching them and he would find them fascinating. Again, it must be noted that one of his favorite kinks was off-list on barbered cocks. Clips from TheHunt discussing Gabe's fixation on cat mating videos. It's clear that as when this event happened, but by Gabe's own account, his mother was shown... his mother has shown him forced bestiality porn in the past. While some may chalk this up to a rather odd coincidence, there are two attributes to this that can only make the act between a mother and her son all that much stranger. What type of conversation is this?
I want to apologize now if I was coughing into the microphone. I did not mean to. I was trying to mute myself.
No, it's no problem. So yeah, again, it also has this conversation where he mentions, I guess, something about like showing like horse porn shit to his mom. This conversation where he was exposing this shit was posted on the furry group on Telegram March 7th, 2020. Gabe's mother was at one point a horse photographer. 2. Gabe favorited feral porn which featured horses. The porn itself was created by Cobalt Wong, whatever the fuck the man who was accused.
I think.
Yeah. Who was accused of pedophilia for allegedly grooming a minor and was commented on by Intera, a zoo sadist who raped animals with the assistance of drugs.
I think it's reference back to the roommate series going on.
Yeah, it always turns back to that, doesn't it? Once again, he was confronted with this by Kaz and Coyote. He presented yet another excuse. In this instance, he simply forgot to mention that his mom showed him the video because she thought it was funny, unquote. Clip from TheHunt. There's a lot of clips from TheHunt, but we're not watching that because that's quite a few minutes into it, whatever. He also claimed that he made the argument on his Kiwi Farms thread when he logged in first post, but this is also a lie. The first post he made was after the logs were released and made absolutely zero reference to the screenshot or his mother. He would soon become inactive after this post on the farms due to the mounting evidence at the point emerging on the farms, which was trying him to more and more sadist and pedophilia and Nazi shit. Oh god. Who's this? Loony? I don't know how to pronounce that name. Loon the rabbit. Wait, he adopted a fucking rabbit? Before Gabe would marry his future wife, Deb got a pet rabbit in Montana from a meat packer which was presumably abused by its previous owners. As a result, Aline was aggressive towards anyone who except Deb. Once she and Gabe moved in together into their RV, he voiced his displeasure towards the animal. and pressured Deb to put Elaine up for adoption. Though the rabbit had a fenced-in area where it was allowed to run around, it wasn't an ideal long-term living situation. It also wouldn't help that the couple would soon discover Deb was pregnant with their first child. Poor rabbit. Gabe never liking the animal to begin with took great pleasure in the activity of rehoming Lena. It seems that the last let the excitement getting rid of her got the best of him, though, as the telegrams would leak to Tumblr showing him joking about feeding her to a snake. The event that Deb wasn't able to rehome. In the event that Deb wasn't able to rehome her, that's okay. So, like, if you don't get rid of this rabbit, I'm going to feed it to a snake. Wow. Okay.
It's fucked up.
I feel sorry for the rabbit.
What did the rabbit do? They didn't do anything.
It was a little bitey.
Just don't fuck with the rabbit. That's all you got to do.
It wasn't a perfect partner for Khord.
The holes weren't big enough.
So eventually, yeah, the rabbit was eventually rehomed successfully. So thankfully, it was not fed to a fucking snake.
Imagine
the rat crushing incident.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh God.
This keeps getting the story. This keeps getting changed constantly.
On September 20th, 2021, Telegram logs were leaked into Kiwi Farms, where members of the California local furry meetup group discussed a rather concerning incident they had witnessed back in February 27th, 2017. According to a user by the name of Harper, they recalled seeing a video that Gabe posted of himself smashing a rat. Shortly after, 2 tweets were uncovered, which would support these claims. By Gabe's account, his dog ripped off the legs of some form of rodent. Telegram logs from an unspecified furry meetup group. He goes, my dog is officially a murderer. From February 27, 2017, Khord says in the Twitters at this time, my dog is officially a murderer. She ripped the leg off of a helpless rat, and I watched it die. Rip random mouse. After 15 minutes of watching his dog torture the animal, Gabe would follow up his first tweet by insisting he would post a video. I think my dog killed a mole rat. I got a video of it too. It's disturbing. Wanna see it?
No.
Sometime around June 2022, he would then be questioned on the incident from his perspective. The animal was already dead when he started recording. His justification recording the incident was that, and I quote, "It was shocking. I've never seen an animal die before," unquote. As far as the video goes, he admits to posting it, but removed it as soon as he received backlash, hence why no other evidence of it existing outside of witness testimony. Okay.
That's the point where you just put the computer down and you're just like, you start thinking like, oh my God, how did we get to this point? We went from a funny saga of him being terrible at controlling his fucking finances and his house to this.
Somewhat of a minor nitpick, but I personally have a problem with the statement, "I've never seen an animal die before," for 2 reasons. 1, we already seen evidence that shows Gabe was also into bestiality, snuff, and gore as early as 2015. 2, as will be covered in a moment, Gabe had to put down his childhood dog 6 months ago. If he really never seen a dog die before, I really hope this doesn't mean he left his childhood dogs to die alone at the vet. Moral sound off aside, I think the general public can agree that it's beyond cruel to abandon an animal in its final moments. If I'm being perfectly honest, though, I don't think he's being entirely truthful with that statement, though. It's just another excuse in order to justify a rather disgusting act. disturbing act, excuse me. Hugo, the dog.
Echo, I think.
Hego, the dog, is the name of a husky which was jointly owned between Deb and Gabe during starting July 23rd, 2016. Thank you everyone for this birthday wish and gift art. But Bun Bun got the greatest gift of all. Hugo the husky. Oh, poor little husky. Based on the previous tweet, it was assumed that Deb brought Hugo, but Gabe told a different story privately. According to Gabe, in a Telegram group between himself and a Kiwi Farm user by the name of the concerned party 2020, his friend Nick, Ferret, I pronounce that fucking name, had brought Hugo the dog, Hugo, not Deb, in the same breath. Gabe admitted that he was aware of his accusations surrounding Nick sexually abusing animals as far back as 2010. In spite of this, he seemingly had no problem taking and keeping an animal from a known animal rapist.
Oof.
While some may argue it's better for someone else to take possession of Hugo, which I would 100% agree with, the issue is keeping a potentially sexually abused animal when you don't have any means to provide or care for it. For starters, Deb, Gabe, and Evelyn were all still living in the RV together. The fenced-in area near the RV was, while useful, was relatively small and was occupied by the rabbit. Even if you're taking this dog out on a regular basis, it's not suitable to keep a high-energy animal like a husky in a confined space like an RV. Yeah, those things are high fucking maintenance. Especially during summer. You need fucking ice all the time. You need to get like a little like those like little cheap fucking pools for like toddlers and shit. And you have to fill that with ice every single fucking day on the hour to make sure that the fucking husky doesn't die from a heat stroke.
Sounds like you own a husky.
No, I'm just a dog owner. I know all this stuff because you have to like pay attention to what breeds you want and be like, well, why can't you have that? Because that thing's gonna die if you don't give it ice. Oh, why the fuck would you have a husky, Khord? Jesus. If taking out dogs. Secondly, if Hugo was abused and groomed by Nick, which seems probable, then that raises the moral question of whether or not to keep the animal at all. If an animal has been forced to experience such things, it would be better for the animal overall health to be rehomed with someone that's more qualified to take care of a special needs animal. Again, based on evidence previously covered, this mostly just reads off as one abuser handing prey off to another. As far as Nick was supposedly giving Gabe a dog for his birthday. It was just due to the fact that Gabe would have to put down his childhood dog, Kobe, only a few short weeks after receiving Hugo. The dog over here. Surprised the doggo hasn't barked blood of the zoophobes yet. I mean, okay, so the problem with an abused animal is even though they may not like the behavior, it's kind of like groomed into them to an extent where they might not be able to fight back. Like one of my dogs was already had a previous owner as a puppy. It's a Doberman Pinscher breed. And one of the things about animals, like especially puppies, is that people beat them, and yeah, someone else who had the dog before I did was beating the crap out of this dog. And you'll be surprised how oftentimes the animal, instead of fighting back, would kind of just like sit in a corner and just like be terrified of looking at you with any eye contact and stuff. It's fucking disgusting. But when it comes to sexual physical abuse, it's pretty easy for an animal to just not fight back. I mean, some can. Some are more likely to attack than others, but if it's a groomed behavior, they're not going to fight back properly. And that's kind of fucked because Khord's home is the last place it should be, for like especially for husky. That's fucking disgusting. Following their divorce in 2019, Deb would initially keep Hugo in her possession while she was on Kiwi Farms. She claimed that she caught Gabe letting Hugo lick peanut butter off of his genitalia.
Oh no.
The following confrontation allegedly confessed to her the fact that he had sex with multiple dogs previously. Those Bun statements. Could I please get copies of these for court purposes? I'm trying to prove that Gabe is an incompetent father and prevent him from having unsupervised custody. I would greatly appreciate anyone's help in this matter. So she's asking about that. Okay, cool. But yeah, no. I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, wow. I meant your dog. We just had a recurring joke I was trying to do. Didn't know it was related to that. Sorry. No, it's fine. It's just that unfortunately, I have experience dealing with animals who've been abused, and it's not fun because it affects how the animal for the rest of its days is going to interact with people, and it's not fun because it robs the animal of a lot of things, including the partner, the human, taking care of it. Because when people want puppies, they want the caring, very open animal. They don't want an animal that takes months of trust and then missing out on all kinds of things the typical pet owner would expect because of a fucking piece of shit thinking that it's okay to abuse an animal. So, fuck that. Fuck Khord. Before I go on an additional rant, let's just keep going. Now, from here, excuse me. Now from here, things would get confusing as to who had Hugo. It seems that she's been changing hands quite frequently following the divorce on July 3rd, 2019. In Gabe's open private message group, PMF Furries has attempted to rehome Hugo on December 4th, 2019. I'm willing to give her a caring home. I just really don't think I could take care of her anymore. I used to give her walks every other day. For the past week of my roommate, I had to do that, and I don't know and there's a bunch of like people in there. Toby the Ice Fox, I have no idea what that is, but yeah. So he's trying to like get rid of the dog. This is it. I just took away a $5 lift left to my home shelter, but since I just gave my dog away to my roommate, I'm going to probably hang out a lot more than in the Bay Area since my dad's house is only 3 miles away, walkway from another workhouse. Apparently, he gave her to a roommate following a day. However, in an email from March 4th, 2020, which is presumed to be between Deb and Gabe, Deb proposed that she would return Hugo in exchange for $800. This was the amount of the most recent vet and immunization bills. Excuse me. Gabe was redacted info from his email. However, lots of context is lost. So, like, God. Despite previous allegations, she returned Hugo to Gabe. Hugo, sorry. Sometime in the following August. Apparently, she was only holding onto the dog as a collateral for her property, which Gabe refused to give back. One of her ex-roommates, who was kicked out for failure to pay rent, alleged that Deb told him she only took Hugo out of spite. And of course on Kiwi Farms, there's a bunch of random stuff that in relation to that, Khord's revealing about himself. Which, I mean, that's already explained, so we're not getting into that section. Gabe has maintained that throughout the time that Deb had Hugo following the divorce, she was trying to give her back to Nick. When he provided proof on the issue, he refused and claims it's a family matter. He also claims that he tried to blow the whistle on Nick publicly in an undisclosed California furry telegroup that was allegedly silenced by the group's admins. Again, when asked to provide proof of this, he refused. For me, it doesn't make much sense. If you're going through a difficult divorce, and if you're trying to claim ownership of the animal, why are you then randomly dumping it on other housemates? from the screenshot here, he tried to rehome Hago, and it seems like he's less concerned about the animal's safety and more about whether or not he's going to have the time to attend more furry meetups. Priorities, I guess, right? It also rather hypocritical on Deb's part to call out Gabe for orally raping the family dog, only to give that very same dog back to the exact same man who you allegedly caught coaxing the poor thing with a peanut butter on his genitals. Be that as it may, Hago is still in Gabe's custody as of September 4th, 2022, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Concerning... Jesus, alright.
I do want to say this is going on quite a lot. I have work in the morning. I might need to go for now. Is there anything you need me for real quick while you still have me?
No, I think we're good.
Well,
thanks for joining.
No problem. If anyone wants to check more stuff that Khord has done recently, there is a Twitter archive that gets updated rather frequently. It is literally just called Chord Kitty Archive, so you can just check stuff there and see what the fuck he's up to currently.
Yeah.
And with that, I shall make my leave.
See you later, Lucid. Alright, so we'll continue on for a bit further. Let's see how long we can finish this up. Let's see, Family Matter, but it's still great custody. Next, we'll be looking into the people with whom Gabe has been in contact with, who has been concerning past relating to zoophilia. This will not be in any particular order, so keep that in mind. So you have the Kantari, I believe that's his name, or Joshua Lockett, ex-vet tech who rapes dogs. Gabe originally tried to claim he met Lockett in 2014. Here's an exact post where he mentions that. And that was mentioned on the previous thing. This would later be disproven as Gabe admitted he had planned on moving in with Josh in 2011, as well as the fact that FB states that they had each other added on Friends in 2010. So yeah. It's a lot of, like, details and contradictions. Whatever. It's one of those things. Alright, let's keep going. He backed out of moving with Josh after allegedly killed one of his friend's dogs. Okay, hold on, let me repeat reading that. He backed out of moving in with Josh after Josh allegedly killed one of his friend's dogs, remains with him up to 2019. In spite of that, plus the proof of him being in a zoo leaking, which happened in 2015. Lockett had close ties with Bark Wolf, Bubble Dog, both of whom had ties to bestiality and pedophilia. An SOW warning, proof of head, Josh Lockett orally raping animals. Of course, we're not showing anything specific in here. But it is something, if you want to read into, you can read into that. That being said, it's pretty obvious that Mr. Lockett is a fucking degenerate and a piece of shit. Take that as you may. Another person, Cowboyferret or Nicholas, pedophile zoo sadist artist. The two met each other in 2009 on Pound.org, a now defunct furry social networking site that shut down in 2018. Nick told Gabe of vague accusations about himself related to a sexual assault and zoo sadism in 2011, which was further corroborated by local meat organizer who said they just had recently banned him over it. Remained friends with him anyways. Nick introduced himself to Deb sometimes in 2015 and began inciting a cuckold relationship between himself, Dave, and Gabe. Okay, so not only is Khord into this shit and likes to be friends with Zoophile, but he's also a cuck. He doesn't have a sexual connection, he has an emotional one, apparently. Sometimes initiating a cuckold relationship. Gabe accepted a dog from him in 2016 as a gift. Deb left Gabe for Nick. For Nick. Oh God, wow. Deb left Gabe for Nick. Okay. In 2019, they lived together for several months, and Nick gave her a loan for legal fees. Custody dispute. Gabe would inevitably dump Nick as he participated in an orgy at HordCon 2020. Gabe claims that the breakup was fake, but offers no proof of it. What is this? Oh God. Oh God. Oh, I'm going insane. Crusader Cat, another one, admitted to raping his own cat on his own YouTube channel in 2009, unable to find any archives of the original video, but there is an alleged transcript on his ED page. Two had to meet met due to both of them being, quote, libertarians and having an interest in musical theater. Gabe had a sleepover with him in 2012 and refused to believe Hayden raped his cat even when presented with evidence. Joanna Fix, or Grant, pedophile and zoophile who groomed a 15-year-old girl into sex before marrying her. Gabe may have allowed Jason into a EMF furry group and banned someone for calling out Jason for his pedophilic views that he was actively sharing in the chat. Allegedly, the account presented in the chat was ran by a troll, but that still doesn't make Gabe banning the critic okay. Messages from the, and mentions of that, again, you can read that. I don't have all the time in the world for it, but it is pretty fucked. Noodle Scoop, convicted for assisting Cupid the Deer, Matthew, and raping a doggo service animal and violating a protected order to put against him by the person who owns it. Former TF. Jesus Christ. Nacho Doggo, reformed, unquote. Zoophile filmed with having sex with dogs. The two were friendly with each other and frequently met at cons. Nacho allegedly told Gabe about Kentari's sexual abuse of animals in 2019. She allegedly faked her own suicide and stole $25,000 USD in a GoFundMe scam after claiming she was going to Germany in order to see euthanasia. After being inactive on Twitter for over 3 months following her quote death, she was spotted online on Telegram, deleted her Twitter once people found out. Jesus fucking Christ. Screenshots of Gabe mentioning that Nacho sent him the evidence of Kentari's raping animals also included a snippet where he says that he wouldn't associate with someone who has a criminal record, while also saying he won't cut off people with a criminal record. God. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. Yeah, Hago is a pretty cute husky. It's kind of unfortunate. Yep, gave it to someone who's like, oh, the sexual devices, you want to do things with your dog? Fucking. Archives of evidence showing Nacho having sex with an animal. It's suspected that either Noodles or Cupid posted evidence in order to spite her. My personal opinion is that this was posted by Cupid as in being actively discussed around the same time. Yeah, this is some pretty gross shit. Screenshots of Gabe mentioning the, of course, criminal record, evidence. Then you have Narloro Skunk, convicted of menacing unlawful use of weapons and disorderly conduct, second degree, accused of sexually assaulting multiple women and animals. So, like, there's this giant fucking squad list of just fucking degenerates that Khord hangs out with all the time. It's, very interesting.
Is it okay if I could mention something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so recently we kind of found out that Khord was flirting with hypnotist Sappho, and like I can send you the screenshots yourself. I'm kind of exhausted, so I can't really remember too well. But essentially, what happened was that, according to him, this is some sort of like gay op, so that way he can find out what Sappho's docs was. But if you look at the screenshots, you can like very clearly see that he was very much flirting with her and all this shit. And the only reason, and this is the funny part, the only reason why he stopped the investigation was because Sappho was a pre-op trans person.
He doesn't like the fact that Sappho still had a penis.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's amazing. Let's see. Was supposed to drive Gabe from convention back in California, but grew tired of his company and ditched him at the side of the road. Gabe alleges that Wad was also sexually assaulted him and was going to sue him. No lawsuit happened. Wade would later on be given the video of Broski and Richards raping Hibisky's service dog and outed him to her. RC Fox arrested for possession and distribution of over 50 pieces of CP. Given what that was mentioned in the Kiro the Wolf leaks, it suggests that RC may have also been a zoophile on top of being a pedophile. Committed suicide in March 2018 after accepting a plea deal. Appears to have been in contact with Gabe as early as 2015. Most social media was wiped, making it difficult to further research this. Gabe defended RC and berated people for mocking his suicide. Also hosts Ivana Narana in Parent Defender of Carl. It's a lot of names. This is probably going to be the confusing part of this, is the names involved. But yeah. So there's a lot of these like creeps involved, and if they get in trouble, he defends them. If you dare mock one of them, they kill themselves. He'll scream like a bitch over it. Glowfox, outed as in the Zoo Sadist leaks for potentially raping an 11-year-old boy, and when he was 18, violated violent oral raping his dog, and wanted to attend underage sex parties hosted by Snake Thing, and trading various photos and videos of bestiality plus cub porn back and forth with Snake Thing. Was invited to Gabe's private Telegram group in August 21. Gabe claims he didn't know about Glowfox's accusations, which is bullshit, but sure. I'll just show some of these a little bit, but not much. You can read it if you guys want to stop and read. So, yeah. Welcome to the Fandom, people. This is fucking, why everyone has problems. The issue with Gabe claiming that he didn't know about Glowfox is that he directly told the guy almost a year prior in his own Kiwi Farms thread about the user. Yeah. Again, he gets called out on Kiwi Farms. Again, screenshots in there. Ooh, now this one's the one I do remember because I've dealt with this little shit before. Andrew fucking K. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. 17-year-old boy who admitted to sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl, possession and distribution of piece of CP, and posted a photograph on Twitter where he ejaculated on his dog. Gabe followed the minor and interacted with him despite being warned by Kaz and Coyote verbally of the boy's troubling history. Because the minor was being nice to him, tried to claim that he was never warned, and it was Kaz and Coyote's fault that he went and interacted with a minor. Yeah, fucking Khord tried to say that I was an asshole or a creep because I didn't say anything about... supposedly I didn't say anything about that, but we did tell him. And on stream, we did tell him.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, we told him, like, carte blanche. And at first, he said, oh, I don't like that, that's disgusting. He shouldn't be doing that. And then all of a sudden, he starts fucking defending this shit. Outside of the stream on Twitter. So yeah. In fact, in the thing, it shows even Coyote showing that, we told him about it. He was getting all chummy. with a predator. There's bunny gatherings video. Nice to know you made it there, bunny gathering. Foxler. Oh, that's another one. I've heard this one the most as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Foxler. Neo-Nazi pedophile zoophile that was arrested for sexual misconduct with a minor. Charges were dropped after the prosecutor allegedly wanted to build a stronger case. Had a beast form account under the name Star Fox ACE Fox. Which was banned. Also posted on LiveJournal and blog sports about having sex with his dog. And there's profiles. That's not it. So yeah, that's the thing. Foxler will definitely be an interesting addition to the streams or any video discussing him in the future. It is pretty fucked, nonetheless. And there's like journals dressing up as a cute fox, and oh my god. Okay, at least I'll show this one. I think it tells you everything you need to know about Foxler, right? So, comment on a video. My father was into the whole outdoor thing. Even put me through all the Boy Scout, through all of the Boy Scouts. One thing I've learned about foxes makes better pets and trapping humans way more fun. Takes a lot less skill to trash someone else's life. Dressing up as a cute fox makes everyone put their guard down, down to even children. Yep. That's Foxler for you. That's just fucking gross. Okay, update. Deb's allegations that gave us sexually interested in new tools. You can also look into that. Updated logs from the group showing that Gabe was still in contact with Foxler as recently as January 2021. These are, I think I remember these were also shown on stream. The other stream. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can look over this on your own time. I'm just like speeding through this now. It's like, damn, too much time.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
BiggusDickus like contacted me earlier, and they were like, if you guys want to, I mean, it's your show, it's up to you, but would you want to possibly save part 3 for like another stream? There's gonna be a lot going on with that one.
Abso-fucking-lutely. We'll go with that. I think that's actually preferable because, yeah. So as stated with these videos, these things, I will probably spend the last remaining, what time is it? Okay, so we're at 3 hours and 37 minutes on stream. I think I could use the last remaining 30, well, I wouldn't say 30, but you get what I mean, around maybe 15 to go through some of the final bits. So, updated proof he was following Qatari on Twitter until he went DFA. Updated proof of showing that I don't actually remember who that is. Was publicly called out in 2019. Updated Deb's allegations. So here we go. What to do? I need to know to wipe the back drive on my Windows laptop. If you don't know what to do, I can ask Angel. Wipe for what purpose? What are you giving it away? So Khord can't back up the data I'm wiping from his laptop. So you can know his wife is like working behind the scenes to try to get his stuff. Update. Logs from the PMF Furries Telegram group showing Gabe was still in contact with Foxler as recently as January 2021. Welcome, Foxler, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Not you. You need to spend more time. You need to spend more pursuit photos. So, like, every time he sees a zoo file, he just friends them and then adds them to a chat group. No fucking thank you. Ever thought like to draw back because all you ask for? Posting any cub here is bannable. Foxler, who said it was art for you? I mean, if you want in, could just ask. It's gross. Someone said it's gross. What? You chat in a group as DMs between the other group members? Are you already privately? Oh, those chivies. Won't stop it being made. From Foxler. How do you... Cool idea. What the fuck is this? Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that's really. Is that it? Well, kind of. It's mostly just a bunch of random screenshots and conversations with other weirdos and degenerates. But I think that's really about it in generalities. That is the end of 2. So yeah, we had to really like hurry the fuck up on that one. I do apologize for the lack of planning in full. I did try to plan it out a little bit, but as you can tell, sometimes in streams it's a little bit impossible to make that work without considering human factors. And so here's the deal. We're going to make a part 2 to this stream probably the day after or any other time people are free, maybe days later. And we'll definitely get into a lot more of the part 3. Because the part 3 was really the kicker I was really trying to go into this whole stream on. But I promise you, we'll get back into it. For this fucking stream, we'll definitely make it as a good primer into the insanity of Chord Kitty. If you like, feel free to like, subscribe, and share on the content. Feel free to join the Discord server if you want to hang around for updates, if you can handle some of the edgy humor involved. And I'll see you guys next time. Let me go find some music real quick. Yeah. Do-do-do.